Hello again, everyone, from Charlie Person Field in Jupiter, Florida, where tonight the Jupiter Warriors are entertaining the Santaluces Chiefs. And we're just about ready to get the ball game kicked off. The Chiefs come in with a record of 2-1 on the year. Jupiter 2-2 after a very hard-fought, close-played game last Friday night against Cardinal Newman, a ball game that they lost 24-21. I'm Brett Weibel, along with Bart Weibel. Bart, that was a good ball game in Cardinal Newman. It went right down to the wire, and we expect the same type of thing tonight here on homecoming night in Jupiter.
Yeah, you missed that one last week, and it was a good one. Came right down to the wire again, as so many games have for Jupiter so far here early in the season. And just on the short end of the stick last week, hoping to get back on the winning side of things tonight.
Number 14 will tee up the ball. Alvaro Casco will kick off for Santaluces. Casco has it teed up, and the Jupiter Warriors, barring any kind of a fumble, will have the football to start the ball game off. And almost a perfect night for football, although it's starting to get a little cloudy. It's been perfect all evening. Here's the kick. A line drive down the middle of the field will go into the end zone and out of it for a touchback. And Jupiter will start this first drive on their own 20-yard line. We're to be 1st and 10. They'll go with the single wing offense that they've employed all year long. If they do snap the ball to a quarterback, it's usually Griffin Garland, number 9, that likes to throw the football. He also calls the plays, and he's got the play right now, and he'll take it in. And we are underway, or set on the snap to be underway from Charlie Person Field in Jupiter.
Last week, Garland didn't see a lot of snaps as far as throwing the football. It'll be interesting to see if they try to balance things out a little more tonight.
Right here, it's a straight snap right up the middle. They did a little fake there to act like it was a high snap. In Jensen Beach game, we saw plenty of those. We don't like to even see those on fakes, but it looks like a gain of about 4 up to the 24-yard line. Call it 2nd down and 6.
Forward progress on the first play from scrimmage, and Jupiter's moving the ball.
A lot of Santaluces Chiefs in the box, expecting the run play here. And before the ball could be snapped, I thought I heard a whistle, and yes, we had movement. Somebody on the Jupiter side of the football went prior to the snap count, and that'll back it up on the penalty. I thought I heard that whistle just prior to the snap. And that penalty will go against Jupiter and actually set up a 2nd down now and 11 back at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, so they lost more yardage now than they gained on that first play, and will have to start here inside the 20, 2nd down and 11.
With this kind of offense, field position is paramount. You can't afford those kind of mistakes. Garland barks the signals. And they'll carry it straight up the middle, and trying to bust through is the ball carrier. Got a pretty nice gain up to about the 25-yard line. I didn't pick up that. Might have been Wallace that got the carry, and he burst right up the middle and had about 6 yards on that carry.
It was a real nice push to make it a manageable 3rd down here, so hopefully Jupiter can pick up these last 5 yards and get themselves a 1st down here on their first drive. Wide
out split on the near side. Garland looks over the plays that he has on his left wristband. Tight formation as usual for Jupiter. And the snap goes to the second back, and he'll gain a couple, but he'll be short of a 1st down. He'll get up to about the 27. It's going to bring up a 4th down and a long 3 from there, and you would think this will be a punting situation for Jupiter.
Yeah, the hole didn't open up enough there for him to pick up the 5 yards needed. He ended up getting a couple. But we'll have 4th and about 3, and the punt unit is on the field. And Jupiter will give the ball up here on their first possession. Can't imagine that they'd try to run a fake punt like they did on their first punt last week.
I wouldn't think so from this point.
From this point, but last week they were on about the 40, so everybody was shocked on that one too.
Jarris gets the kick away, and it doesn't take a particularly good bounce, and it's going to roll out of bounds at the 49-yard line of Jupiter. So a short field for Santaluces as they will have their first possession. We've seen Jarris really boom some kicks this year, but that one looked like it kind of went off the side of his foot. And then you were hoping, if you were a Jupiter, for a roll. They're going to mark that at the 50. They got a great spot on that ball. It looked like from here it definitely went out in Jupiter territory, but
Yeah, I think that went out right at the 49-yard line, maybe even in between the 48 and the 49, but not a good bounce for Jupiter, not a great punt after their first possession. And like you said, he has put some boomers out there and some that roll for days as well, but that one spots Santa Lucis with pretty good field position on their first drive.
Luis Martinez is their quarterback. He's back in the shotgun. He's got a running back on his left shoulder, twin receivers each way. He's going to roll to his left. He's going to throw the ball. He goes for a bomb. He's got a man streaking down the middle and overthrown right at the goal line, intended for number 13, who had a step on the, that was Williams. He had a step on the defender, but the ball was overthrown, and it'll bring up a second down and 10. I like that, going for it right away. Just come out and pin your ears back and lob it out. And he had a lot of time to throw. That's the dangerous part there, was how much time Martinez had, Bart. He could have done just about anything he wanted to there.
Well, there was good protection, and he did have the arm for that, so about 45 yards or so in the air. So look for this guy maybe to put the ball up a few times this game.
Martinez from the gun, twin receivers each way, hands the ball off in a big hole for number 5, gets to the outside and gets good yardage up near the sticks. Number 5 is Bernard Eberhard, and he is going to be about 2 yards short. Give him 8 on the carry. You're going to have a 3rd down and 2 in what probably, where you're at on the football field, could be 4-down territory, just outside the 40 at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, I'd say especially if they came up with a 4th and short here, 4th and shorter than this, or maybe even this yardage, they'd give it a go. And we'll see.
Martinez wants to throw, fires it over the middle. He's got a man, the 1st down, taken down to the 30-yard line. That looked like number 11, Malik Langham, that he got the ball to, and that'll be good for a 1st down. And again, he had plenty of time, and it looked like he kind of had a run-pass option there, and he elected to pass it. Good move there, picked up the 12 yards to the 30, 1st and 10 for Santa Lucis. Chiefs on the move.
Yeah, he stepped up in the pocket there and decided to throw. Maybe had an opening, but good gain for them there, and they are on the march well into Jupiter territory.
Martinez in the gun, hands the ball off to Eberhard, and he's going to gain about 3 or 4, just straight up the middle, a little stutter step move there. And it'll bring up a 2nd down, and looks like from here they're going to give him about 3. We'll call it 2nd and 7 down to the 27-yard line. It's really not a hurry-up offense, Bart, but they don't waste any time in getting up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they seem to have what they want to do pretty well in their heads. They get right up there and snap the ball and keep trying to move.
Martinez fakes the ball. Eberhard's got a man wide open for a touchdown. Boy, that was a nice play right there that they ran, and they had a man wide open, and I'm trying to pick up the number. I want to say 13.
7, maybe. Looks like number
7. Okay, 7 to D. Langham, and he was all alone for the touchdown, and it comes with 8:03 left to play in the first period. So they go 50 yards, and they do it in just 5 plays.
Very quick, and they struck through the air, which...
Look at this spread out here. They're going to throw for the 2-point conversion. They get a block in the corner, and they go in easy. They just threw a little bubble screen out on that far sideline, and they made it in easy. That was hard to defend. They got a good block out there on the edge, and it is 8-0 Santa Lucis with 8:03 left to play in the ball game. And Jupiter, I think, a little bit awestruck right there, how they took advantage. They stopped Jupiter. The penalty did not help the Warriors. And then they got a poor punt, and the short field by Santa Lucis was handled in just 5 plays. They went 50 yards. They scored 8:03 of the first quarter, and they lead it after the 2-point conversion, 8-0.
So now Jupiter's got to try to combat that with a nice solid drive here, hopefully put some points up. They've been able to come back in the past. Last week were down 10-0, ended up taking a lead in that game for a little while, 14-10, before finally surrendering to Cardinal Newman. So they do have some fight in them, and we'll see what they can put together here on their second offensive drive.
Jupiter defensive unit's been pretty solid all year long, but boy, they didn't put up much opposition there on that impressive drive by Santa Lucis. Casco will kick it off and drive it down and into the end zone again, and again out of the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line where Jupiter will start 1st and 10. Again, we mentioned this is homecoming night, a beautiful night for it, although, Bart, as we sit here, it starts to look a little threatening in the skies.
Yeah, some clouds rolling in, it looks like right now. It's been pretty clear most of the day. Looking at the forecast before we got here, it did show that as the evening rolled on, we went from that 0% chance of rain up to about 20 or 30. So we'll see if we can be on the good side of that and have some clean weather for homecoming, and see if the Jupiter Warriors can come back here and pull out a win.
Warriors trail 8-0. Single wing. They snap to the running back, tries the right side of the line, and still moving forward. And the ball was wrestled away, and I think Santa Lucis got it. They did. Ball a turnover, and that is not the place to do it. That's going to be Santa Lucis taking over the ball. It looks like at the 24-yard line after the fumble. That looked like, Bart, it just was wrestled away from the ball carrier from here.
It didn't look like he went down completely and just...
There is a flag, though, on the play.
Ball ripped away.
And there is a penalty that's going to be called against Santa Lucis, and I don't know. We'll have to sort this out and see if it's going to be come after the ball was taken away. They're going to mark off some yardage, but I think this actually is all coming after the ball was taken away on the fumble.
Yeah, I believe so.
They're going to spot the ball down at the 36-yard line.
No, this is the Jupiter offense. It's on the field right now. So.
No, that's Martinez there at the shotgun.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's a little hard to tell, but...
Yeah, the way Jupiter approached the line right there, it looked like they were going to get into that single wing formation with the 3 backs, but now I see the safeties in the formation, and Santa Lucis in the shotgun here, ready to go again. We'll see if that penalty can help Jupiter out, and maybe they can get a big stop here and get the ball back after the offense failed on one play.
Well, now there's a mix-up. Martinez is going to come over and talk to his 3 wide receivers. We're on the near side of the football field here. They do have number 13, Williams, out there. Also number 8, that is Mike Moisey. And it looks like we're going to have a stoppage of play here for a moment to try to sort something out. The officials gathered right up on the football. I'm not sure what they're doing. I don't think there's much to discuss here, Bart. It seemed like they were pretty intent that the ball was fumbled by Jupiter, recovered by Santa Lucis. I'm not even sure, for lack of a better term, it looked to me like it was just wrestled away.
Yeah, I think maybe they were questioning the spot of the ball, because the way that ended up, if it was where the play ended up, it ended up being a 12-yard penalty,
exactly.
Which is interesting.
And he draws Jupiter off, Martinez does, so that's going to put him 5 yards closer. I don't think there was any movement. Changed his cadence, and mark the ball now to the 31. So a rough start for Jupiter, just gets rougher. Now it's going to be 1st and 5 from the 31. Jupiter defense going to be faced with trip receivers to the near side, a single man to the far side. Martinez in the shotgun, and he's got Eberhard on his left. He wants to throw. He's going to lob it over the middle, and intercepted by Jupiter. The Warriors have the ball on the interception. They're going to bring it right back up the middle of the field, and going to return it out to the 35-yard line. Boy, that was what this offense did not need for Santa Lucis, but it was what the defense needed to do for Jupiter. They played pretty good all year long, and right there they stepped up when they had to. This game could have turned into a rout early.
Definitely needed that play. That was a huge chance, a huge play for them. The offense comes out after Santa Lucis tears kind of through the Jupiter defense on their first drive for a touchdown and 2-point conversion, and then Jupiter turning the ball over on the first play of their drive, but Santa Lucis throwing the interception right there. So Jupiter, hopefully a spark here, and we'll see what they can do with this opportunity.
Start at their own 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Garland wants to throw, fires the ball over the middle. Coley Wilson out there, and he makes a diving catch, and he's down to the 35-yard line of Santa Lucis, excuse me. So they swap the field right there on the long pass play.
Well, there's that big play potential that they've shown with Garland to Wilson. That's kind of been the matchup so far this season on the deep plays down the field, and a big one there to kick this drive off the right way.
38-yard pass play. Jupiter will run the football, and that might have been Wallace. It's a big back that's got it, and he's carrying the whole pile down inside the 30, down to about the 28-yard line. A gain of about 7 on 1st down. That's the offense that Jupiter likes to play right there, Bart, that power running game.
Yeah, I like to try to bust through that hole whenever there's a small hole, pick up 4, 5, 6 yards per carry, and just keep moving the ball down the field.
Second down and 4. They hand it off. I believe that's Wallace again. It's going to squeeze it down to the 25-yard line. A pickup of about 4, and he might have a first down. We'll see where they're going to mark the ball whenever they are. That is surely a first down, I believe, and that is the indication. First and 10, Jupiter. They've taken it to the Santaluces 25-yard line. Santaluces Chiefs lead this game 8-0. Jupiter on the march. And we had movement along the line of scrimmage, and the whistle blows before the ball can be snapped. I'm not sure. They're going to look to me like somebody lined up in the neutral zone and moved there for the Chiefs.
They are going to mark it off.
And that's what I thought I saw. I thought it was their defensive end on this side. It looked like he moved forward, so that moves it, makes it first and 5 at the 20-yard line.
So now Jupiter knocking on the door right here. First and 5, good opportunity.
Got to take it to the right side of the big hole, turn the corner, dive for the sticks, and in for the touchdown, or is he? Very, very close. Yes, touchdown, Jupiter.
Took a minute there for the indication, but the second official came in, raised his arms, and said, yes, Jupiter touchdown.
I'm going to say that Wallace, the man that took it in, he's been a load to handle, and the 20-yard TD makes it now 8-6.
Well, last week maybe Wallace had a little bit of a wake-up call whenever number 5, Jerome Davis, came in, did a good job as a back, and maybe he felt a little threatened. He came out and ran the ball pretty well here early in this game.
Kick is up, and the kick is good. And Jupiter, after the interception, turns the field as they go 63 yards in just 4 plays and score at 6:20 of the first quarter and add the extra point to pull within a point at 8-7. Make sure you're on the winning team when it comes to your financial future. Contact Richard Lepore at Signature Financial Solutions at 1375 Gateway Boulevard in Boynton Beach and set your course for financial security. Phone 561-596-2743. Well, Bart, that's just what a good team has to try to do. We've talked about it. It seems like every week, whenever one team scores, you try to answer.
Yeah, definitely that's what you need to do, and that was a huge drive there for Jupiter. The offense atoning for their turnover that the defense so politely gave back to them, and the offense said, thank you very much, this time we'll drive it down the field. Took the big play from Garland to Wilson, which that connection's been made a few times in big spots all year. I'd call that a big spot here early in this game to shift this momentum back to at least neutral or maybe even on Jupiter's side, because in the first few minutes of this ball game, Santaluces certainly came out with the momentum.
It'll be interesting to see what Jupiter does on the kickoff here, what they have done for the most part. Now, I didn't see the Cardinal-Newman game in person, Bart, but they liked at Jensen Beach to use the pooch kick, and it does look like Santaluces has a man deep back at about the 15-yard line, but they usually have not been kicking it that deep. We'll see what happens here.
The Cardinal-Newman game, same type of thing. Honestly, Cardinal-Newman had the ball at about the 50-yard line to start a lot of their drives. There were a couple almost onside kicks that Jupiter attempted, and some kicks that went out of bounds and such as well. So the kickoff game and that defense team has been somewhat suspect for him, as this kick's going to go out of bounds as well.
Out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. So Santaluces is going to have good field position from that kick. Might as well kick that inbounds, because sometimes you can confuse, teams get confused on that kickoff and think it's like a punt, and they don't have to go get that ball, and it's a live ball, and you're a lot better off kicking it in. It looks like right here that Santaluces says, make them kick it again. Not a bad ploy on their part.
Yeah, it really definitely isn't, because if they've scouted Jupiter at all, they'll notice that Jupiter seems very apprehensive about kicking into a return team to their returner, as we've seen them kick the ball out of bounds a lot, and with the really short kicks and onside attempts and everything that we've seen. So Santa Lucia saying, no, we're not going to let you do that, and you got to give us a chance to return the football.
So they're going to tee it up at the 35-yard line and kick it again. I believe that's number 10 on the kickoffs for the Warriors.
Last time, I think number 11 actually came in and kicked it.
It might be Devin. I couldn't tell. Devin.
Oh, now they had a third guy come in.
Now they drive it down, and it's picked up at the 15-yard line by Santa Lucis, and a missed tackle. Those are costly sometimes, although they do get hold, and they're going to bring him down, but he's still moving the pile up to the 34-yard line. Nice return by Santa Lucis from the 15 up to the 34. That's where they'll start at 1st and 10.
Jupiter ran a little bit of trickery there. They had number 10, Jonathan Jarrett, coming up to the football. Then it looked like Devin Bowie was going to kick it. And then a third guy whose number I didn't catch is the one that actually kicked the football that time. It confused Santa Lucis a little bit.
Confused us.
Ended up, though, that the coverage didn't get back quick enough, and they got a good return out of it and started their own 35.
Yeah, they mark it at the 35, 1st and 10. Martinez in the shotgun. Will shovel it out to Eberhard, tries to get outside to the left, and then it's brought down. That actually looked like that could have been Sanguise, the ball carrier there. A short gain. Well, actually about 5. He did better than initially thought. 2nd and 5 as he takes it up to the 40.
Move that pile a little bit and get a nice gain out of that. Anytime you can pick up 4, 5, 6 yards on the ground, it's definitely not frowned upon.
Martinez in the shotgun. He is going to roll to the left, shovel the ball off to Eberhard this time, and he's hit and goes down, and that was pretty well played by Jupiter right there. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3 for a 1st down.
Good little piece of coverage there to not let him get away and get the 1st down. It is 3rd and pretty short here, but still a 3rd down in their own territory, and if Jupiter could come up with a big stop here, maybe get the ball back with a chance to take the lead.
Martinez in the shotgun. He's got twin receivers to each side of the football field. He's got time. He gets hit, though. Gets away from it. Still grabbed and held on and finally goes down. Somebody got hold of a leg, Martin, wouldn't let him go. I thought he was going to be able to pass it anyway, but he did the right thing and tucked it under his arm, and it'll bring up a 4th down in a punting situation for Santa Lucia.
And they are going to mark it all the way back where he went down, so good defensive play there by Jupiter, and they will have the opportunity to get the ball back here and put together another drive.
Loss of 9, 4th and 12 at the 33-yard line for the Chiefs. Jupiter about to get their hands on the ball with 4:27 left to play 1st quarter here at Charlie Person Field. 8-7, Santa Lucis with the 1-point lead. Here's the kick, a pretty good one. They kick away from the return man, but he gets it on a skip at the 30, tries to reverse his field, moves to the 40. He's got running room. That's Cody Wilson, who's going to take it to midfield. 35, 40, 35, still on his feet, still going with the football. A flag thrown now very, very late after the play. There was some hits and blocks going on, but that flag that was thrown was very late. In fact, Wilson was down with that football before that flag was ever thrown, so this one's going to come back somewhere barred around midfield, it looks like.
Yeah, it depends on the yardage on this penalty, 10, 15 yards, but they are going to bring a majority of this back as another flag's thrown. Right now...
Well, you don't want to lose your cool in a situation like this. Well, that was a good job of Wilson to field that ball, take it on the skip, had it on the near side of the field, took it all the way back to the far side, and for a moment, Bart, it looked like he was going to get free and take it all the way down. He did take it down to the 10, but a couple of penalty flags around the 40-yard line are going to bring it back around midfield, it does appear.
Definitely a big return right there. Looks like they're going to call a block in the back. And then that's unsportsmanlike, it looks like, against
That's going to be tacked on the end, I'm afraid.
So that's, yeah, so both of those penalties are going to count against them. And
they're stepping this off from the 40. They are now at midfield. I don't think they're done yet. I think they're going to go another 15 from there and put it back at the 35. But let's see, that's where he's headed. Yep. The unsportsmanlike really hurt. The other one was bad enough, but this takes it all all the way back to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that pretty much completely negates a very, very nice return there by Cody Wilson. They had the ball into the red zone, and now they're back into their own territory to actually start this drive. So we'll see if they can make up for those penalties and put some first downs together and hopefully put together a score.
Single wing offense. They're going to try right up the middle, and the ball carrier is mid-head on hard as he runs it up. That was number 5 that carried the ball. Isn't that Moore?
No, that's Jerome Davis.
Oh, Davis. Okay,
Yeah.
Davis got whacked hard as he brought it up to the line of scrimmage, and they gave him a yard of 1, and that was
generous to say the least.
Yeah. Here is another play. They try to run it to the left side, and they stop that play, and we've got a flag come in. That's going to probably be a hold, and that's going to probably back them up even more. Boy, penalties, such a big part of the game. If you can stay away from them, penalties and turnovers, and we've seen them both really lead to both scores here tonight.
Yeah, the turnover from Jupiter, or the turnover that Jupiter forced on the interception, they turned that into a touchdown, and Santa Lucis able to put the drive together there on their first drive after the Jupiter punt.
It's going to put the ball at the 20-yard line.
Jupiter having a tough time getting this drive off the ground at all here, as now they're going to be second down and 25, it looks like.
Wow, second and 25 after the penalty. And what you worry about here really is field position, because you're setting Santa Lucis up for a short field if you can't move the ball at all. And there aren't too many plays in the playbook for a second and 25. There's a timeout on the field taken by Jupiter Warriors. Our score in the football game is 8-7. Santa Lucis with the 1-point lead with 3:20 left to play in the first quarter. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Cobalt Computer Consultants, located in the shops of Jupiter at 201 North U.S. Highway 1 in Jupiter. For computer training, lessons, and repairs, phone 561-623-0533 or 561-880-5685. Member Apple Consultants Network. As we said, our score here is 8-7 in favor of Santa Lucis, who stopped Jupiter on pretty much 3 and out, made them punt after a penalty to open the series. And they took the ball at the 50-yard line, and they went those 50 yards in just 5 plays when Langham caught a 27-yard touchdown pass. And that is what led to their touchdown. Their 2-point conversion was good also. And that made it 8-0 before Jupiter got a touchdown of their own after an interception and added the kick. 8-7. Here is the snap. Garland back to pass, lobs the ball out here. He's got a man running under the ball. Cody Wilson made the catch. He bottled it and still held on. What a great catch. He's going to be just shy of the first down. He took it all the way out to about the 44. That was a circus catch by Cody Wilson. They're going to mark him at the 43, a 23-yard gain.
Definitely the play that Jupiter needed there to make it at least a manageable third down. So they've got an opportunity here to keep this drive going.
3rd and 2, they fumble, it's picked up, and it's going to be a touchdown for Santa Lucis. Picking the ball up and taking it on in for the touchdown, number 9, and that was John Gabriel, and he gives Santa Lucis a gift touchdown there. Boy, that is so costly for Jupiter on that single wing. That's the one thing about the single wing, is if you get something like that, it sets up the other team.
Yeah, right after they get the big play that they needed to make it a third and manageable, with an opportunity to possibly pick up the first down on that play, that turnover, and nobody able to or needing to fall on that football, as Santa Lucis just picks it up and runs it straight into the end zone.
They're going to go for 2 again. They get the pass off, and again they're in for the 2 points. They make that look easy. They just spread the field. They throw the bubble pass. That time it was caught by number 8, Mike Moyes, who took it in. And the score now is 16-7 in favor of Santa Lucis. And boy, this game turned in a hurry on that bad snap. And that, Santa Lucis really took advantage of that. The ball was snapped and it was dropped by the ball carrier and then just picked up and ran back in for a touchdown. But we saw the same type of play actually at Jensen Beach where Jupiter seemed to pretty much handle the football game. They were up and down all over the field, but it was fumbles and bad snaps that really almost cost them a win that night. And right now it's got them on the short end of a 16-7 score when it looked like they were going to have a chance to put together a drive, Bart, that would have put them ahead.
Yeah, that's a huge turnaround right there, and a lot of that stems straight from that return where they would have had the ball about the 10-yard line, knocking on the door to take the lead, but everything turned around on all the penalties, and then the third down fumble there that was just picked up and ran right into the end zone by Santa Lucis.
So Casco will kick the ball off, and he's put it in the end zone every time tonight. Drives this one right down the middle, and again in and out of the end zone, and Jupiter will have to go 80 yards. Boy, that guy's a weapon.
He's definitely got a foot. He has no trouble kicking it into and out of the end zone and making Jupiter each drive so far start on their own 20-yard line. That's a weapon that Jupiter, I'm sure, would like to have, as we've seen them have some troubles with their kickoffs and not being able to cover them, win in bounds real well, giving other teams good field position, where if they could start them back further in their own territory at the 20-yard line, maybe they'd be a little bit more effective.
Well, that's a good point. Field position's been key here. Now we've got whistles blowing before the ball can be snapped, and we're going to have a timeout. It looks like called, if I read the officials right, by Santa Lucis. So we've got timeout on the field. 16-7 is the score. The Chiefs on top of Jupiter on the strength of a touchdown pass and a two-point conversion and a fumble return of 43 yards and a two-point conversion. And that's where we stand right now. After tonight's game, stop by Cheeseburgers and More in the Jupiter West Shopping Center on Indian Town Road and enjoy one of their great burgers and your favorite beverage. Well, the night was perfect when we started this football game, but the clouds have kind of rolled in, but I don't see any lightning. We hope that stays away, Bart, here on homecoming night. You'd like to get this football game in. Sure would hate to have to come back on a Saturday or another day and finish a high school football game, but sometimes it does happen.
Yeah, a little rain wouldn't hurt them, but definitely have to keep the thunderstorm away, keep that lightning away, because that is immediate and swift. Whenever that lightning strikes, they pull everybody off the field to make sure everybody stays safe.
Twin receivers, far side of the football field. Here's the first play, and it's going to be a running play. They're going to try the left side, and the running back slips out of the containment. He's out to the 40. He's at the 50. He's at the 40 of Santa Lucis and driven out of bounds, and finally off his feet down inside the 30-yard line. That play looked like, Bart, it was going to be stopped for nothing, and all of a sudden the ball carrier popped loose. Was that, I think, number 5.
Yeah, that would be...
that is Jordan Davis, and he showed some speed when he got in the open field. They're going to mark the ball down at the 28-yard line.
Davis had a nice game last week against Cardinal Newman, and he's stepping in right here and doing some good things for Jupiter again.
My math skills were being tested tonight, but I believe that was a 52-yard run.
That's definitely a big play there on first down to start this drive.
This time they snap the ball right up the middle, and the ball carrier wrestles to maybe the 25-yard line. Santa Lucis not field. They made a pretty good fake on that. I actually thought the ball went to one of the up-backs, but that was not the case. And there's a gain of 3. Call it second down and 7. Jupiter wants to keep this drive alive. They need this score to stay in this ball game. And again, a fumble. He picks the ball up, and boy, they just got it. Whoever they snapped that to is the same guy that fumbled it earlier, and he had trouble coming up with the handle right there. I think that's Xavier Carter, and Xavier's going to come out of the ball game, and it's going to bring up a third down and 10 after a loss of 3.
I'd say at this point they're in 4-down territory here, so they want to try to maybe pick up 5 or 6 yards, make it a much easier possibility on 4th down, and then try to get the first down and keep this going.
They've got twin wide receivers. Actually, the tight end is also off. They've got trips here on the near side. This is a different looking set. They're going to try to power it to the left side. Running back lowers his head and dives toward the 25-yard line. Might have gotten there, but that'll bring up a 4th and 7.
So not quite as many yards as they would like to pick up there. It looks like they are going to spot him just inside the 25 at the 24. So
okay.
Decent pickup right there, but not a real easy pickup here on 4th down.
No, now you need 6 yards
to go for it.
Look, like I'm a little surprised they ran that play to the short side of the football field because it was a lot less territory for Santaluces to cover, but that's what they chose to do, and it fooled no one.
And they put all 3 of their receivers out to that side as well, so it was clogged up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Tight set here, going with a long snap count. And they might be trying to draw. They're going to let the quarter run out. That's what they're going to do. That's the end of the first quarter of play with Santaluces on top of Jupiter here at Charlie Pearson Field by a score of 16-7. We'll be coming up with a 4th and 6 here, but we'll be doing it at the other end of the field, Bart. And a lot of action there. Boy, this is a game right now, if you're the Jupiter coaching staff, a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda is what you're talking about because Jupiter's had no answer for the 2-point conversions by Santaluces. They really spread the football field. Coach Doug Uccinelli's got to come up with some kind of a plan to try to slow them down, but it's been tough to do. And then the fumble recovery was a killer because, as Bart talked about, you flipped the field. You went from having the ball on a return at the 10-yard line for Jupiter and a chance to really take the lead, and then the penalty pulls it back, and you fumble, lose the ball. They pick it up and run it in from 43 yards out, and then you're down now by a 16-7 score when you were looking at having a chance to go ahead.
Yeah, so Jupiter, of course, hoping here that they can keep this going and get the first down right here and end up scoring a touchdown and making this a closer game.
Big play in this ball game here, 4th and 6 to start the second quarter. Garland gets flushed, he gets hit, and he gets dragged down. Did he get the first down? No. He was nowhere near it. He got pulled down at about the line of scrimmage, and it will turn the ball over on downs to Santaluces. So they didn't get the effort they wanted, no gain on the play, and Santaluces will take over, and they're going to mark the ball. Looks like right on the 25-yard line. So actually a loss of 1 by Griffin Garland on the play.
So Santaluces will take over. Really worst field position they've had here, the one bright side for Jupiter, but they have the ball back with a chance to extend this lead and plenty of time to do so just starting this second quarter.
They are going to throw on a play action, and the ball skipped off of the receiver. Intended man out there was number 2, Javaris Riley, as that time Martinez did a nice play action. That's going to work. It's going to be effective, Bart, because they've been just good enough at running the football that you have to respect that first, and that opens up the field.
Yeah, Jupiter's shown that that's where they do become susceptible. Last week against Cardinal Newman, Cardinal Newman came at them with a very balanced attack. Weren't afraid to put the ball in the air, but were also effective running the football, and it was tough to defend.
They're going to try to run the ball here and get to the far side, but not much there, as he did carry the ball up to about the 30. I say not a lot of a gain, but he gained 5 yards, the ball carrier did. That was number 3 carrying it again, Chedlin Segassi, and he's a pretty quick young man as he got 5 and brings up a manageable 3rd and 5 for the Chiefs.
Definitely ran a long way for those 5 yards. But,
yes, he did.
Jupiter with an opportunity here, if they can stop what looks like it's going to be a pass play, to take the ball back. They're
showing blitz as Jupiter. They're going to come after Martinez, but he's got all day. Now he gets flushed and he takes off. He's got some room to run up the middle. He's got the first down as he dives across the 35 and picked up the first down. He knew right where he had to get, and he made it to the 36-yard line. He needed 5. The pickup gives him the first down. That was pretty good defense, though, by Jupiter. I think they'll take that all night. They had everybody covered, but Martinez such a gifted athlete that he was able to tuck that ball and run himself and pick up the first down. Now it's 1st and 10 at the 36.
The receivers were covered. He was under pressure, but he was able to slip through, good footwork and escape, and pick up the big first down.
That time, Jupiter sent the kitchen sink and everybody else at him, and he overthrew a wide receiver on the far side. That was a full-out blitz there. They sent about everybody, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Boy, you got to be careful when you sell out like that, though, Bart. If they get it picked up and they get it blocked, you find a receiver. There's nobody back to help.
Yeah, that's what happened on that earlier touchdown pass. I believe they sent a couple guys through the middle, left the right side, well, the far side of the field wide open, and that guy had nobody around him, caught that for the first touchdown pass.
Chiefs send 3 wide receivers to the far side. Martinez in the gun, wants to throw it out there. Little bubble screen, the ball's caught, and then chopped down. A pretty good open field tackle out there by the Warriors. After a short gain, it's going to bring up 3rd and long this time, about 7 after a gain of 3 on that little short pass. Football's actually at the 38. I'm going to call it 3rd down and 8 to go. That was only a pickup of 2, so Jupiter wants to get the offense off the field here, get their defense off. Martinez in the gun. Has a snap, rolls to his left, wants to pass, has time. Now will get hit and go down as Jupiter closed on him at about the 40-yard line. So it'll bring up a punting situation for the Chiefs here. He wanted to throw that ball. He really got a good spot out at the 41. He picked up 3, but it's going to bring up 4th down and 5. And right here, everybody stays set. Nobody jumps. He could give him a first down.
Yeah, he does give him positive yardage there, but definitely not exactly what they were looking for. Jupiter on a couple plays in that defensive set actually able to cover the receivers nicely and not give any options to throw to.
Snap to Casco, good one, not a particularly good kick, and then taken right at the 39-yard line by one of the upbacks for Jupiter. Nothing wrong with that. They'll have pretty good field position here to start this particular drive. 9:50 left to play in the half, 16-7, and really the score, a little bit of a surprising score because Jupiter had fought back to 8-7. Looked like they were going to have the ball at their own 10-yard line, or at the Santaluces 10-yard line, but then a penalty, a block in the back, brought it back across midfield. Really, it wasn't even the block in the back that really hurt him. It was the unsportsmanlike after that. And then the fumble was picked up by Santaluces, and they rambled in from 43 yards, get the 2-point conversion, and lead 16-7.
Penalties and turnovers, definitely the story of this game here in the first half.
Here's a nice carry by Jupiter as they take the ball up to the 45-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 6. And good plus yardage on that play. That might have been Davis, the ball carrier. It was. Marked the football right on the 45-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Actually, looks closer to 5, but here's a snap and straight ahead. The running back slips out of the tackle. He's at the 30. He cuts it back to the 30 and top down with the football was number 5 that time, and that was Jerome Davis, who darn near slipped it, Mark, for a touchdown.
Well, he got hit early in that run, just past the line of scrimmage, but was able to run over the tackler and turn that into a big gain and get themselves well into Santaluces territory here, and starting to get down into that territory where maybe they can get themselves a score.
Got him down to the 27-yard line, 1st and 10 there. Single wing, a snap it to the second back through, who carries it down inside the 25, might have got to the 24. We'll give him 3 and call it 2nd down and 7. That was a 28-yard pickup on that run by Davis. Now you're looking at a 2nd down and 7, and you're certainly in 4-down territory. Plenty of time on the clock for Jupiter to work something offensively here. Looks like they send Cody Wilson wide out to the left side of the football field. Everybody checking their armbands to make sure they've got the play as it's sent in, relayed to Griffin Garland. But again, the single wing, normally the ball snapped directly to a running back out of this. And this time it is to Wallace, and he's got a seam over the left side and then chopped down. That wasn't Wallace, that was number 5, Jerome Davis again. My apologies. He's chopped down just as it looked like he was getting ready to really get motor, and he got about 4. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3 as he takes it to the 20.
So decent positive yardage here. Manageable 3rd down, like you had said before, probably 4-down territory right here. So trying to just chip away and end up with that 1st down and give themselves an opportunity holding on to the ball.
Football resting at the Santa Lucis 20-yard line. 3rd down and a short 3 for Jupiter. Hang on to the ball. And the snap is low, but it's taken by Davis. Tries the left side. He's going to be close to the sticks. I can't tell. He might have got it. Looks like the side official here is marking the ball at about the 22-yard line. That would leave him a yard short, and it does. 4th and 1 for Jupiter here. You have to go for it. And it's a short one. It looks like about 2 feet, Bart. It looks like about 2 football legs looking at the sticks across the way.
Definitely a good opportunity here to pick up the 1st down. Hopefully this time they can get the yardage needed. Last time they came up a little bit short and had to hand the ball back over.
The snap is to the running back. He's got the 1st down. He's going to have a touchdown. In for the score is number 5, Jerome Davis. He took the direct snap, and he runs it in from 22 yards out.
Davis definitely getting the call quite a bit here tonight, and he has answered the call many times so far. Last week, they handed him the ball a number of times. He showed that he could do some of the dirty work in the middle of the field. They still gave the ball to Cody Wilson a lot last week, even on the run, and of course throwing to him. But Davis definitely earned some time this week and is showing that
all kinds of movement prior to the snap of the football for the extra point. I'm not sure what to call, who they'll mark this off against. If they mark it off against Santa Lucis, do you think about going for 2 and tying this ball game? Well, you wouldn't tie it. You'd get within 1. No, they're going to go and kick it.
Had that 9-point lead there. Jupiter a little more confident with.
Chair's a good kicker too. It's down, it's up, it looks good. It is good. So Jupiter pulls to within 2 with the score now 14-16. Santa Lucis with the lead. 6:39 is when that score came, and the Jupiter Warriors went 61 yards, and they did it in just 6 plays. Again, their offense has looked good. It's the snaps that they've got to take care of, Bart. If they wouldn't have had that one bad snap, they could be comfortably ahead in this ball game, actually.
Well, they take care of that snap or have the ball deep in Santa Lucis territory without any penalties on that return, and this, instead of a 14-16 ball game, might be a 21-8 ball game.
Could be easily. But it's not. And Santa Lucis holds to the 2-point lead. And now Jupiter has to do something with the kickoff. And this time, at least at this point, Santa Lucis has dropped nobody back deep, Bart. They've got 2 men up around the 30-yard line. So we'll see if you ever try to kick it deep, now's the time to try it when nobody's back to return it.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that Jupiter has a punter with a good leg. We just haven't seen him kick it too deep, but they're going to try it this time.
Oh, what a great move, and they did. They kicked it right down. That's a live ball, and it's taken at the 1.
And he's going to get dropped. Well, maybe.
He did get it out to about the 5-yard line, maybe the 10, but they weren't sure how to field that. That was smart there. We talked about it. Nobody back deep. They just had 2 guys around the 30, and he was able to kick it down there. Let's see where Santa Lucis will have it.
That was just what you were talking about earlier, how sometimes on that, with high school kids especially, they may forget. It's not like a punt where you could just let the ball go, and he kind of got lackadaisical on there. The ball hit, kicked, stayed in live ground, didn't kick into the end zone, and Jupiter's got an opportunity here to hopefully come up with a big defensive stand and get the ball back in good field position.
Well, the Warriors would like to pin him deep here. 6:32, very entertaining ball game. I will say this, Bart. This Jupiter football team has been a fun team to watch. They are competitive. They fight. They make some mistakes. And really, if they could correct that and clean that up, it's amazing what they could really be doing. I mean, Dwyer is the only team that really handled them. Cardinal Newman beat them in a real close ball game. It went right down to the wire. But that being said, Jupiter's win at Jensen Beach was almost a miraculous finish to score with 14 seconds to go, and they had the extra point to win that. And then the first game that we saw against Lakes, where they scored with 3:20 to go to win.
The big, what was that? Was that 74 or 84 yards that they went on that pass play to score that winning touchdown against Lakes? But yeah, they have definitely been a competitive team in every game that we've seen. We didn't have an opportunity to do that Dwyer game, but all the games that we've been able to cover have definitely been entertaining and very competitive.
Here is the snap to Eberhard, straight up the middle, and Jupiter stops him after a short gain. He might not have gotten beyond the line of scrimmage. Jupiter defense looked like they read that one perfect that time, and they did. They stopped that ball carrier for no gain, 2nd and 10 from the 10. You're listening to Jupiter High School Sports on the Big W Sports Network. Brent Weibel, Bart Weibel, glad to bring you the action, and it's been entertaining.
Yeah, it's definitely been a fun game to watch. These are great games to come out and cover on these Friday nights. These nice, close, well-fought games. No blowouts as far as what we've seen so far, and Jupiter right here in this one again. Martinez
carries the ball himself, and he's brought down short of the 15-yard line up to about the 14, where it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6. He tried a little razzle-dazzle there. He put the ball in the stomach of the ball carrier, the running back, but didn't give it to him, and tried to get free himself, but Jupiter stayed home pretty well. Now you're looking at 3rd down and 6. Boy, right here it might be worth selling out and sending everybody, even the kitchen sink again, Bart. Let's see what they do.
Definitely a big play in this ball game right here.
Martinez has twin wide receivers each side. They're sending a full blitz. He wants to throw. He gets flushed. Now he steps up. He's got a man wide open, but overthrew him by 5 yards. He had a man all alone, and if he delivers there, that's a touchdown for Javaris Riley, but it was too far out in front, and now Santaluces will have to punt from deep in their own territory.
They definitely had the guy, they had the Jupiter defender beat off the line. He had 15 yards, 10 to 15 yards of cushion there, and if that pass would have been anywhere close to where he could have adjusted his route and caught that football, that probably would have been a Santaluces touchdown, but well overthrown.
Here's the snap taken in the end zone. The kick is away, and it's going to bounce, and it's going to be fielded by Wilson, and then he's bulldogged down right there.
Dangerous play.
Very dangerous, very lucky, but he wanted to keep it from bouncing into Santaluces or Jupiter territory. He does take it at the Santaluces 48-yard line. So the Warriors, Bart, are in business. They've got good field position, and they've got time on their side, 4:59 to go. They've not led in this ball game, but any score here, other than a safety, would put them in the lead.
Yeah, definitely. They have a good opportunity here. Great field position after the big kickoff play that pinned Santaluces deep, and now they start their drive in Santaluces territory.
They will go with the single wing. That means the football is snapped directly to a back. There's no actual quarterback that handles it first. They are down. Long snap count, and it goes to the second back through, and that looked like that might have been Jerome Davis again. He tried to carry it right up the middle of the football field, but not much there. Might have gotten a yard, that's all, down to the 47, 2nd down and 9.
Looks like they are going to give him a yard here, and Jupiter needing to move the ball a little bit more efficiently here on 2nd down.
Twin wide receivers split out here on the near side of the football field. A shift by Santaluces. They're going to give the ball to Davis, and carrying the ball right up the middle. That wasn't Davis. It went to someone else. Was that Wallace that got the ball and actually took it to the 45, a gain of 2, 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, there's number 23, Luciano Wallace, back in the game, getting another shot here as a back.
Well, Big third down play here. When are they not big in high school or any kind of football? Usually third downs are huge, but this was a big one for Jupiter. 3rd and 7. They need to get the ball down to the 35-yard line to get a first down.
Conversion here keeps the drive alive, gives them a chance to take a lead.
And they're going to run the ball, and not much there. Tried the left side, although the ball carrier got a good second effort to pick him up near the 40. I think I said the 35. They've got to get the ball across the 40 down to about the 39 to get a first down, and it looks like here he takes it to the 43. So it was a gain of 4, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and 3. Jupiter going to go for it. They've got to get the ball to the 39-yard line to get the first down. Twin receivers here on the near side of the football field. And somebody moved prior to the snap. It was one of the Jupiter linemen. The guard on the left side bobbed his head up prior to the snap, and that'll back it up 5 yards to the 48-yard line, where it will now be 4th and 8, and that might change your play call, Bart.
Yeah, definitely a tough penalty there. 4th and 8, not very likely. I mean, it takes a nice play in order to convert that, so they will bring the punt team out onto the field.
Not a bad play here.
Try to pin them deep here, keep them off the board for the rest of this half, and go in with a still very tight football game.
Chiefs have a return man standing in his own 20-yard line. I think this is Jerez that'll punt this ball away. You just want like a little pooch kick here. Snap is good, plenty of time, gets the kick away. It's a wobbler, it's going to hit, and it's going to roll, and it's going to go out of bounds down inside the 15-yard line, I think. No, they're going to mark it, it looks like, outside of the 15 at about the 17, but not a bad kick there with no return whatsoever. So Jupiter trying to play that field position game, and that's not a bad thing here, but you'd rather have the lead doing that here on homecoming night, but we'll see what the defense can do.
Yeah, you feel decent pinning them inside the 20 anytime on a punt, but definitely would like for the score to at least be reversed or maybe even more, but going to have to come up with a big stop here with about 2.5.
Twin wide receivers on each side of the football field for Santa Lucius. Martinez is back in the shotgun as he has been all night long. He's always a threat to throw or run the football. Jupiter shows blitz. Now they back out of it. Now they show it from 2 different spots. He's going to throw the ball. He's going to fire it out to a man wide open. He's got the catch and hauled down out there close to the first down marker. Up around the 27, 30-yard line, up in that area someplace. And they are going to mark it at the 30, a pickup of 13. Where to be 1st and 10.
Does look like he stayed in bounds there. The clock will stop with...
well, it'll stop with a timeout called by Jupiter. Yeah.
Timeout by Jupiter. That's interesting play there.
Timeout Jupiter with the score 16-14. Santa Lucis with the lead. Jupiter's never had the lead in this ball game, although it looked like they were going to have a chance to take it, but the fumble and a 43-yard return for Santa Lucis put them out to a 16-7 lead. Make sure you're on the winning team when it comes to your financial future. Contact Richard Lepore at Signature Financial Solutions at 1375 Gateway Boulevard in Boynton Beach and set your course for financial security. Phone 561-596-2743. Santa Lucis has the play called, and they're back out on the field. And they'll send twin receivers to this side of the football field, the near side. It looks like a single man on the far side, and actually now 2 men that are in a pistol set with Martinez in the shotgun. He's got a offensive player on his right shoulder. He's going to hand it off to the back, and he's got some room, but he's chopped down just so it looked like he was going to take off. Runs the ball out to about the 33, a gain of about 3. It's going to bring up a 2nd down, and we'll call it 7 from there.
And Jupiter will take that in that situation as that makes it 2nd down here. And we have a little problem with the scoreboard.
Scoreboard went out.
Yeah, it looks like we lost power.
And they're trying to figure it out up here in the press box. And we'll have a stoppage in play here. But we've still got power, and we still have power as far as the lights are concerned here in the press box and also on the field. Now, I don't know if something came unplugged or not.
Well, it looked as though the board went out whenever the band was walking through the gates down there.
Blame it on the band.
It looks like it's close to the board. There may be a wire or some type of thing on one of those poles that they maybe accidentally tripped, and it's cut the power, because I know on these high school football scoreboards, a lot of times the main power switch is on the board itself, and then the control board is powered up here in the press box. So we got two different power sources going, and it went out on one of them here, and that appears to be the one that is actually physically on the scoreboard, as it looks like. I think that's the athletic director,
Mike D. It looks like Mike D. Leonardo is going to go over there and take a look at it.
It looks like he's going to.
He's not paid enough, Bart. I'll tell you what, he does a little bit of everything at these ball games, and I didn't realize he was a master electrician. We'll kid him about that when the game's over. He'll get a kick out of that.
Every athletic director would probably say they don't get paid enough during football season, at least. These football games here in South Florida are definitely an event, and very nice crowd here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
For homecoming, for sure, here at Jupiter. I mean, there's pretty packed stands, and that's definitely saying something, as this stadium seats quite a few people.
Well, in Santa Lucis, we failed to mention, they brought their band along tonight, so they've got a pretty good crowd across the way as well, but we're still working on the scoreboard. I think there was two something. Was it 2:32? Okay, somewhere in that range. Somewhere just over 2.5 minutes left to play in the first half. Santa Lucis has the football. It'll be resting at their own 34-yard line, where they're looking at a 2nd down and 6. And they're trying to keep the ball away from Jupiter, also trying to put their own 2-minute drive together here. Jupiter on that last touchdown by Davis on the 22-yard run, and the extra point kick by Jarrows got to within 2 points at 16-14, and that's where we're at right now. Now, Jupiter's players are back on the field. They have the helmets on, and it looks like they're ready to go. There it is, and it's actually showing 2:15. Okay, we were both wrong. Okay, 2:15 to play in the first half. Martinez brings the Chiefs back onto the field, and again, he's in that pistol set. He's in the shotgun. He's got a running back on his right shoulder and one right directly behind him, and they've been running out of this pretty effectively. They're faced with a 2nd and 6 at their own 34-yard line. Now the clock is started. Martinez awaits the snap. Jupiter trying to get off the field here defensively. Snaps a good one. He's going to throw the bubble screen, and the ball's caught for a first down. And the wide receiver will try to get out of bounds. I don't believe he made it, but he gained about 4 yards after that catch over there. That ball was zipped to a tall wideout, and he pulled it in, and I believe that's Langham, Darrell Langham, and he's a good-looking wide receiver, Bart, and he pulled that in. And if he doesn't catch that, nobody's going to get it.
Yeah, that's for sure. He had to go up and get that ball, and that was a nice catch to give Santa Lucis the first down and keep their drive going.
That was an 11-yard pickup, so now they've got a 1st and 10 at their own 45. This drive started at their own 17. They try a running play, and they get good plus yardage as they run it right up the gut for about 3 yards.
They do have a couple timeouts left for sure. I do know that, but we get down to under 1.5 minutes to play here. Clock ticking off, and they're going to have to put together some bigger gains than that to get on the scoreboard.
This time, Langham comes to the near side. He's a tall target out here. Martinez is going to keep it. He's going to run option. He throws the ball for Langham, and he drops it. Boy, he had it right in the numbers, but his head turned to look upfield to see what kind of running room he had at the Jupiter 40, and he dropped the ball.
He looks up to see what he's got, and he sees nobody around him, and ball hits off his hands, drops to the ground, incomplete pass, and that sets up 3rd and long.
1 minute, 6 seconds left to play, first half. 16-14, Santa Lucis. They've never trailed in this ball game. They're now faced with a 3rd and 7 at their own 48-yard line. This time, trips to the far side. Make it backfield, Twins on the bottom. Martinez in the gun. He's got the snap. He wants to drop back and set up a screen. Fires it over the middle. He's got his man, and this is going to be a first down for Santa Lucis. A great call. as they take the ball all the way down inside the 40, down to about the 37-yard line. That was a great call. 15-yard pickup when they needed 7. We could really see that well up here, that they let the rush come, and whenever that happens, you're going, uh-oh.
Well, that opens up the middle of the field right there, wide. Perfect screen play there. Read it and get the big gain and moving the football.
This time he's in the shotgun. He's got trips on the far side, twins on the bottom, now man in motion. That's Eberhard. He gives Eberhard the ball. Nowhere for him to go. Somebody stayed home for Jupiter, and they pull him down for a big loss. And oh, no, a late flag comes in. Somebody must have grabbed a face mask. That is the call. And that was unfortunate because they had him dropped for a big loss. They had the clock running, and now that's going to march it off. This is going to go from the 47-yard line is where that actually occurred. And it's a 15-yard penalty against Jupiter. Boy, penalties have really been huge.
That's one of them he had all day, too, to pull him down. He wasn't going anywhere, and big penalty.
Mark the ball at the 32-yard line, 1st and 5, and they're going to throw the ball. They've got a man out here, but he overthrows him incomplete. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 5 at the 32. Nice play of this drive coming. 18.7 seconds to play. Jupiter wants to just try to keep this score right where it's at right now. They had hoped they could pin Santa Lucis deep. They did. They made them start at their own 17-yard line, but they marched it down to the Jupiter 32, so now they are within striking distance, and they've got 18 seconds to work with.
We'll see if it becomes just enough, and we'll also see, we know the Santa Lucis kickoff man has a big foot. We'll see how big of a foot their field goal kicker has, if it's maybe even the same guy.
Martinez gets flushed, wants to run with the ball, throws it. He's got a man out here, and the ball is caught for a touchdown. A diving catch going airborne is number 13, and that is Williams, and he pulls it in for the score. That ball was thrown perfectly by a scrambling Luis Martinez, and that score really hurts, as that is a total of 83 yards on 9 plays, and comes with just 11 seconds left in the half for Santa Lucis. And now they will spread the field. They've gone for 2 every time, and this has really been like cutting through warm butter for them. Martinez in the gun. Looked like somebody started. He's going to try to run for it. He didn't get it. They stop him. So that's where it's going to stand right now, is 22-14. And we're going to have a kickoff coming for Jupiter. The only thing, they're not going to have a lot of time, but that time it failed. And I think I said that was Williams that caught that touchdown pass, Bart. That was a nice jump and catch on his part. He went airborne, and even though the defender had him pretty well covered, no way that that big tall receiver was not going to go up and come down with that ball. All he had to do was make the catch and get his one foot in, and he actually got both of them in.
Yeah, very nice play there by the Santa Lucis receiver, and put some cushion under them right here at the end of this half with only 11 seconds to play until halftime. And another situation where it turns around, but at least stopping them on the 2-point conversion there, it does keep it within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So a 1-score game per se that Jupiter will be looking at.
Here's the kick. They're going to kick it down the middle of the field, and Jupiter's going to have a chance to return this. Fielded at the 2. At the 15 to 20, tries to get to the outside, and a good open field tackle made by number 21 of Santa Lucis, Jamal West, who chopped down the ball carrier at the 25-yard line, and that's where the Warriors will have it. And they might just take a knee here and not risk any kind of a turnover. And just like Bart said, be happy to go down only a touchdown down at halftime. They're really fortunate, I think, to be in this position here.
Yeah, with a lot of the mistakes, the big penalties that they've committed, and the turnovers as well, for this to still be within the reach of 1 score is kind of an upside for them to look at going into the second half.
I think I said just a touchdown. I stand corrected. It's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. It's an 8-point difference, 22-14, but I think all things considered, Jupiter will be glad to get off at halftime with that being the case. Oh, no. Griff Garland's got to roll to his left. He's going to try to throw the ball. He gets it out of here. The receiver has it, and they're going to try a little flea flicker, but nothing doing, and that will end the first half. Boy, I tell you what, that's a little dangerous trying something like that. It looked like they were trying the old hook and ladder, Bart, but nobody came around to get the toss back on that, and that's the way the first half will end here at Jupiter, with Santaluces leading at the half by a score of 22-14. Santaluces put 16 points up in the first quarter, and the big play what came for them was on that fumbled snap, and they picked the ball up at the 43-yard line and ran it back in, and that actually put them up 16-7 when it looked like Jupiter had made it an 8-7 ball game and had a return all the way down to the 10-yard line, which was called back on a couple of costly penalties, and took any chance at a lead score away. And then that fumble put Santaluces up, and Jupiter's been chasing them ever since then. But a very well-played ball game, and it looks like we're going to have an exciting second half at this one, with just 8 points separating these two at the half.
Jupiter's definitely had their opportunities thus far in this game, and between penalties and the turnovers that they've committed and a couple of the big third down plays that they've given up on defense, they find themselves facing a deficit here in a game which they could very well, with a few plays going the other direction, have a pretty nice lead really at this point in the game, but they're going to have to fight from behind once this second half begins. Have to come out and try to stop Santaluces on the first drive, because Santaluces will have the ball to start the second half, and then work toward putting their own offensive drives together, try to score some points, get this game closer, and give themselves a shot in the fourth quarter. Whenever they've done that, they've succeeded twice so far with some nice fourth quarter drives, giving them their 2 wins, come from behind wins as far as their 2 have been, and this one will have to be the same sort, coming from behind in the second half.
Make sure you're on the winning team when it comes to your financial future. Contact Richard Lepore at Signature Financial Solutions at 1375 Gateway Boulevard in Boynton Beach, and set your course for financial security. Phone 561-596-2743. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Cobalt Computer Consultants, located in the shops of Jupiter at 201 North US Highway 1 in Jupiter. For computer training, lessons, and repairs, phone 561-623-0533 or 561-880-5685, member Apple Consultants Network. And after tonight's game, stop by Cheeseburgers and More in the Jupiter West Shopping Center on Indian Town Road and enjoy one of their great burgers and your favorite beverage. We're at halftime on homecoming night. 22-14 is the score. Santaluces with the lead. And as Bart told you, the Chiefs will get the football first to start the third quarter of action here from Charlie Person Field in Jupiter. Back at Charlie Person Field in Jupiter, Florida, we're at halftime. Just about ready to get the third quarter started with Santa Lucis leading Jupiter 22-14. We would like to recognize the homecoming king and queen here tonight at Jupiter High School. The king, Kirk Benteman, and the queen, Brianna Falgiano. Our congratulations to those young people on a big night for them here at Jupiter High School. Jupiter actually outscored Santa Lucis in the second period 7-6, but were outscored in the first period 16-7 when it really looked like, for all intents and purposes, they were going to have the lead. And Bart, this game very easily could have been a 21-8 ball game, or at least 21-14. But that fumble by Jupiter and then the penalty on that big kick return that they had really has turned the game around for Santa Lucis, at least at this point.
Yeah, Jupiter's definitely had their opportunities in this game so far, and I'm sure they are hoping for more of those here in the second half and going to try to play a much cleaner half of football and not turn it over or get flagged near as much as they did there in the first half. And if they can do that, play some good defense, put some good offensive drives together, this is still anybody's football game.
Absolutely. Santa Lucis will get the ball first. That was an impressive drive that they put together to push out to that 8-point lead after the ball game had been cut to 2, taking over at their own 17-yard line and going 83 yards and scoring with just a few seconds left in the first half. And it's really pushed them to that 22-14 lead. If there was a bright side, it's like Bart said, they were foiled for the first time tonight trying to go for a 2-point conversion, as this time they tried to run it in, couldn't get it.
They once again have this football set up as though they're going to kick it not deep, but try to put some English on it.
And they pooch it, and it's taken by an up man inside the 30, and he's got some running room near midfield and finally wrestled down short of the 50. That was number 2, Riley. Well, that again, though, was a time when you should have put as much foot into it as you could because they were all creeped up beyond the 30-yard line, Bart.
Well, Santa Lucis had originally set up. They had a deep back sitting down around the 10, 15-yard line, but as soon as he read that that ball was sitting on the tee sideways, they read that they were going to try to kick that ball a little bit short. He pulled himself way up to about the 30, 35, and if they could have kicked it over the top there again, that would have been a nice little kickoff possibly, but Santa Lucis starting their first drive here, good field position.
And there goes the quarterback, Martinez, for a big gain and a first down as he takes it all the way down inside the 40 to the 39 from the 46-yard line, and that is a first down.
So a big play, and they are right back up to the line, ready to go again. Going to run some quick snaps here.
Martinez throws to his right, fires it out. He's got a man. The ball is caught, and then taken out of bounds is number 13, Williams, down around the 31-yard line, and pick up about 8 on that play, or maybe more.
And here they are. They're already back up at the line. Looks like they've had this first drive pretty well scripted.
And Martinez going to roll to his left, wants to pass, has some time, steps up in the pocket, then gets hit and goes down. Back at about the, he appears to be shaken up too on that play. I'm not sure who hit him. I don't know if that was Griffin Garland or who, but somebody kind of came underneath. He didn't see him, and they dropped him back at about the 33-yard line.
So a little bit of a loss there. Nice little play for Jupiter defensively. Going to run the ball again here, wide open hole up the middle as he runs it. He does go down kind of hard there again. And I believe talking to one of the coaches before the game, they said he had been injured a week or two ago. And but he's back in the lineup now, and he's been an important piece for them so far.
He's going to pass the ball. He fires it out there, and well covered on the play was number 7, Dale Lingham, who pulled in a touchdown pass earlier, but he was well covered that time, and that now will bring up a second down and 10 from the 25. And they stay in that hurry-up offense, though the Chiefs. It's the pistol. Martinez in the gun, hands it off to the ball carrier, and some yardage for number 22, who is Bateau Jr., and he carried it up to about the 20, so call it second or third down and 5 from there. And they're going to shovel it. As a player that they got wrapped up, grabbed, and then lost. They lost him and then pulled him down. That's number 5. That's Eberhard. Pretty good penetration along the line of scrimmage there by Jupiter, and they squelched that play. And it'll bring up a 4th down and 9.
Definitely a nice little defensive stop there, and the Santa Lucis field goal unit coming out onto the field here, going to attempt what looks like about a 38-yarder, 39-yarder where they're going to have it set up.
39-yard field goal attempt by Casco, and he's got a lot of leg. We've seen that on the kickoffs. No question he can match the distance. Snap is good. It's down. The kick is up. The kick is blocked. And Jupiter picks it up, and they're going to have great field position on that. That was number 5 that blocked it for Jupiter, Jerome Davis, who returned it to the 45-yard line. How's that for a momentum changer?
Well, that definitely, Santa Lucis looking like they have an opportunity with a great kicker out on the field to put this to a 2-score game. And Jupiter breaking through the line, getting the block, picking it up. And they've got the ball on their own 45, 1st and 10 for their first drive of the second half.
Looks like the Warriors are going to go in a shotgun with Garland back there. They've got twin receivers on each side of the football field. Well, taking a lot of time to get the play set. Now the whistle blows. They're still all looking on the other sideline. There seems to be some confusion. There's a lot of yelling from the coaches up here in the press box. Now they get set. And they're going to take off with the football, try to run to the right side, and got a pretty good seam out there. I'm not sure who the ball carrier was that time.
Number 3, I think that was Cody Wilson.
Cody Wilson, that's what I thought I saw. And he picked up 7. 2nd down and 3 as he takes the ball out down to the 47-yard line of Santa Lucis. And now we've got the ball snapped and the whistle blows, and the play is stopped before Jupiter can get the play underway as Santa Lucis called a timeout. Well, that could become costly as the game unwinds. Jupiter definitely had them confused there, Bart, and got into it. And they called the timeout to try to figure it out. So the 39-yard field goal was blocked attempt by Santa Lucis, and it gives Jupiter renewed vigor in this ball game.
Well, now they have pushed this ball across into Santa Lucis territory, and had Santa Lucis confused there. They got to burn their first timeout early here in the second half, and this is still a very close ball game. So timeouts, you never know, they could become important down the stretch. We'll see if that has any impact as this game goes on, and we'll see if Jupiter can step back up to the line here after the timeout and keep this drive going forward.
Bart will want to watch when the Santa Lucis offense comes back out onto the field as well to see if Martinez is able to go. He appeared to be shaken up on that last series a couple of different times.
Yeah, he's been getting some pressure and running the football some, as well as putting it up a number of times and starting to feel some wear and tear.
And the ball is carried, no first down, but we had illegal motion in the backfield by Jupiter, and that's going to back it up 5 yards. So instead of 2nd and 3, they're going to look at a 2nd and 8. That play looked like it was in slow motion, and you saw movement just kind of slow out of about 7 or 8 guys before the ball was snapped, but it was enough that it was a penalty against Jupiter. A question here, does Santa Lucis want to decline it? I wouldn't think so. No, they're going to back it up and make it 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, that would have been 3rd, and they would have had him stopped about the line of scrimmage or so there, I believe, and that would have been 3rd and short. Now they got him backed up to 2nd and a little bit longer here.
Warriors continue to shoot themselves in the foot. And they're going to try the left side this time, and getting some running room as a running back. He makes a nice move to get free, cuts back to the middle of the field, lowers his shoulders, and drives forward for a first down. What an incredible run there by, I think, Davis. of Jupiter. Boy, did he show some slick moves there, Bart.
Jumping left, jumping right, leaving his feet a couple different times, escaping a couple tackles, getting a very nice gain there into Santa Lucia, further into Santa Lucia's territory, and a first down.
13-yard gain, 1st and 10. Here is Davis with the ball, but this time he can't get away. He's grabbed and dragged down from behind by number 51 of Santa Lucis, James Morello, and he pulls him down for a loss.
And they're going to get a fairly decent spot there. I almost think that could have been spotted back beyond the 45-yard line. They're going to mark it inside all the way to the 44, so loss of 4.
2nd and 14. Boy, you want to try to move the ball. Cody Wilson's got single coverage out on the far side if they want to go to him. And up, they're going to run the ball. They give it to Davis. He tries the right side. Not much there. Chopped down by an arm tackle after a gain of about 1, maybe 2, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long.
So we'll have about 3rd and 13 here, and in that in-between area here, probably looking at a punt situation if they don't get a decent gain out of this at least. And so they're going to try to pick up the first down, or maybe at least 10 yards or so to make it manageable if they decide to go for it on 4th.
Watch number 3, Cody Wilson here. And the snap goes to Davis, tries the right side, makes a man miss, still on his feet, but gets upended shy of the first down. He's down inside the 40-yard line, down to about the 38, so he picked up 5, but it's going to bring up 4th and 8.
Gets himself past the original line of scrimmage, but still leaves a 4th down and pretty long play. Not much movement here. It looks like the offense is going to stay on the field, and they're going to try to go for this.
4th down and 8. What will the call be here? 7:03 left to play, 3rd quarter, 22-14, Santa Lucis with the lead. They put everybody up in the box. This might be a passing chance for Jupiter. Garland has it. He gets flushed. He gets hit. He goes down. They were ready for it. They came off the blind side and dropped him as Jose Rivera got in and made the drop on him. And that will give the ball back to Santa Lucia in pretty good field position.
Yeah, they got the ball right at about midfield here to start this drive. A little bit shy. They're going to mark it in Santa Lucia's territory at the 45 to start. And tough drive there. Tough way to end that drive for Jupiter.
Right there's a place where you want to throw it away to save the 7 yards, if nothing else, on the sack, because that makes it that much easier for the Santa Lucis. Looks like we've got another stoppage of play on the field. After tonight's game, stop by Cheeseburgers and More in the Jupiter West Shopping Center on Indian Town Road and enjoy one of their great burgers and your favorite beverage. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Cobalt Computer Consultants, located in the shops of Jupiter at 201 North U.S. Highway 1 in Jupiter. For computer training, lessons, and repairs, from 561-623-0533 or 561-880-5685. Member Apple Consultants Network. And make sure you're on the winning team when it comes to your financial future. Contact Richard DePole at Signature Financial Solutions at 1375 Gateway Boulevard in Boynton Beach, and set your course for financial security. Phone 561-596-2743. Santa Lucis will take over at their own 45-yard line. Jupiter unable to really get much going offensively that time, Bart. We kind of hope that they made some adjustments at halftime. They'd be able to move the ball, but the Santa Lucis defense rose to the occasion.
Yeah, they stopped Santa Lucis there on the drive to open the second half, and would have really enjoyed putting something together and putting some more points up on the board, but they were stopped.
Martinez from the pistol wants to throw, fires it downfield. He's got a man streaking out there, and the ball is knocked away and then caught. What an incredible catch. That ball was deflected away, but caught by Williams, who stayed with it down to the 5-yard line.
Wow, that ball knocked up in the air a couple different times. It looked like great concentration there to keep the eye on the ball, grab that football, bring it in for a catch, and they're going to have the ball 1st and goal down at the 5-yard line.
Wow, what a catch, man. I mean, to tell you, that was an acrobatic juggling effort by Williams. And he's had a couple tonight, but none better than that one. Wow. from the pistol. They're going to hand the ball off to Eberhard. No, he's going to keep it and throw it out in. Getting the touchdown, number 13, Williams. Well, he did all the work. He got all of the 55 yards, including the 5-yard touchdown catch with 6:16 to play in the third, and that increases the lead 28-14 for Santa Lucis.
So now Jupiter getting into a situation here midway through the third quarter where they're putting themselves closer to having their backs against the wall and needing to come out with some quick scores here once they get the ball back.
Well, we talked about it. That single wing offense is really not conducive to catch up. This time it looks like they're going to bring everybody in and they're going to actually try to kick an extra point. As Casco's on, Martinez will hold. Well, he's certainly got the foot to make this. All he has to do is kick it straight. Snap is good. It's down. Kick is up. Kick is rifled through, and it is good. And that makes the score now 29-14 in favor of Santa Lucis. And it took them just 2 plays to go 55 yards for that score.
Well, they had the big 50-yard pass play there on the first play that set them up, and then went right back to it again for the short 5-yard strike and a touchdown. And here in the third quarter, they increased their lead, more than double up Jupiter at 29-14. So Jupiter going to have to find an answer here on offense and start playing a little bit of catch-up, put some points on the board, and going to need the defense to stand them up a couple times as well to get them back in this ball game.
Try to find somebody defensively that can stay with Karazi Williams, number 13, who is putting on a highlight show here in the third quarter at Charlie Person Field in Jupiter. Man, he made a juggling catch, and incredible. One of the best plays I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was a big, big play in high school football.
I believe he might have had offsides on the part of the Chiefs on that kickoff, and it looks like it's going to be brought back. I've seen a lot of great catches, but I don't believe I've ever seen one that was deflected defensively and then juggled and brought in by the receiver any better than what Williams did on that catch.
Yeah,
wow.
That takes a lot of concentration and a little bit of luck as well. So, but definitely a great play, a very athletic play, and speaks to the talent that he has there on the offensive side of the ball for them. And that was a big play in this game, putting Santa Lucis up by 15 points.
Let's see if the Warriors get a chance to return this football. They will field it at the 10 after it's dropped, picked up after the 15, the 20. 25 reverses his field, and that's where it'll go down, actually shy of it. It looks like at about the 24-yard line. So pretty good downfield coverage there by the Santa Lucis Chiefs after that ball was kicked off from the 35-yard line by Casco. That time, Barty didn't get the ball airborne, but he skipped it along the ground, and it was just about as effective.
Yeah, only a 4-yard difference really there in his normal ability to kick the ball through the end zone, where they take the ball at the 20. So similar field position to what Jupiter's been used to pretty much all night so far.
Let's see if the Warriors can get a drive going. They're going to have to if they're going to make a ball game of this with still 6:06 left to play third quarter. Looks like now they're going to try to open up the passing game as they go to the shotgun look. And up they're going to run out of that. As Davis tries to get wide to the near side, comes along the side, hurdles a man, and then gets driven out of bounds up across the 30-yard line, and they say he stayed in bounds up to about the 32. That's going to be a gain of about 8 yards and bring up a second down and short as the clock continues to run here at Jupiter. He actually picked up 9, call it second down and 1. He made a nice play of that, actually hurdled the defender at the 30-yard line and gained an extra 2 yards out of it.
Very nice play there on first down, and now maybe some momentum here for the offense. See if they can continue to drive.
And this time the ball's going to go to Cody Wilson. He'll try the right side. He's still running with the football. He's got a first down. He's finally grabbed, and then we've got a late flag coming in.
That might be a late hit there out of bounds.
Kind of appears that it might be, and that was about the only thing that could have been called over there because nobody was blocking in the back or anything. So this will be tacked on to a ball that's marked at the 43-yard line. So that was a pickup of 11 on the carry by Cody, and then the penalty will be waived off. Is that what I saw?
Yeah, it sure looks like it.
Okay. And they're ruling that it is a first down. Maybe that was just to mark or spot the football. Official did wave it off, and it's a 1st and 10 for Jupiter. They really need this drive. They marched it out to their own 43 after taking over to 24. Twin receivers near side, single man on the far side. Direct snap. Davis going to try to get wide again to the right side. Dances in, dances out, still on his feet, turns the corner, and finally is ridden out of bounds and close to a late hit there. But he's driven out of bounds shy of midfield. Looks like he'll be at about the 47. Boy, he ran a long way for 5 yards there, Bart.
Yeah, definitely running around trying to find an opening to be able to pick up some more yardage, but it wasn't to be had. And Jupiter still shy here of the midfield marker.
2nd down and 5 at the 48, their own. This time it'll be Wilson trying it again, tries to cut back up in the middle. Gained a couple of yards, but they're going to have a 3rd down coming up here. It looks like they're going to mark him at the 48-yard line of Santaluces. A gain of 4, 3rd, and a call it a long one here for a 1st down.
Decent little gain there, manageable 3rd down right here, and one they need to pick up.
Yeah, you don't want to have to go to 4th down and going for it right here at this place on the football field, especially the way Santaluces has moved the ball the last couple of times. Snap will go, try the middle, and he dances away. A good 3rd effort might have got him the 1st down. He initially ran into his own man, bounced off of that. That was Wallace, I believe, the ball carrier. And Bart, that was an incredible 3rd effort there that's going to give him the 1st down.
Well, he used his hand to keep his knee from going down right there, and it was able to get him enough to get Jupiter the 1st down, keep this drive alive, and give him a new set here to work with.
Football at the 46 of Santaluces, 1st and 10. Clock down to 4:16 in the 3rd quarter, 29-14. Santaluces with the lead. Clock continues to run. And now the ball snaps straight ahead, and they're going to try the old fullback dive play for straight ahead yardage. That will be plus yardage, but it will not be enough for a 1st down. It's going to take the ball down, it looks like, to the 42, a gain of 4. We're at 2nd down and 6. 3:41 left to play, 3rd quarter. 15-point lead held here by Santaluces. Jupiter players all looking over at the offense. And again, the play taking a lot of time to come in. They're going to have to be careful they don't get a delay of game here. They get the snap off, I think, just in time to try the left side. And some yardage there down inside the 40 for the ball carrier to about the 39. That'll be a gain of about 3. And I'm not sure who carried it that time. That might have been Wallace again, number 23.
So another 3rd down here, another big one for them to pick up. This will be 4-down territory, but hopefully they don't have to use all 4 in order to pick up that 1st down.
Got a stoppage play again. I'm not sure if a timeout was taken or if this is just a water break, Bart, but gives Jupiter a chance to kind of catch their breath, but also the defense too. And you always wonder who gets helped out more by this when you got a big 3rd down and 3 play coming up here. It seems like in the second half, Jupiter's success has really come at running wide on the football field. They've been able to get outside containment and get around the ends, and that's where the big plays have come. And they really have not shown a consistent ability to pick up 3 yards right up the gut. So you would think that this is going to be some kind of a rollout play here for the running back.
Yeah, a lot of their shorter plays have been 1, 2, maybe 3 yards up the gut, but those plays to the outside, even though they have to run a lot longer distance, they've been able to beat them off the corner and pick up 7, 8, 9 yards at times and sustain some things. So if they've got the speed to beat them and they've got the continued energy to use it, that might be the way to go to try and push this ball into the end zone.
Well, as Bart said, in a game like this, every 3rd down is huge. This is one here. 3rd and 3, football at the Santaluces 39-yard line. Actually, let's call it the 38-yard line. And they have to get it to the 36 to pick up the first down. So it's really third and call it a long 2 that they're faced with right here. And the question becomes, will they try to get it up the gut against what's been a pretty fair defensive line by Santaluces, or will they go to the outside? 2 men are on the short side. They're going to run it to the short side in the big hole. They've got the first down and more, and the ball carrier takes it all the way down to the 20. Boy, that is so hard to do, and that was Wallace. You don't know how difficult that is to run that to the short side of the field. We talked about it earlier. A lot of people over there, but an 18-yard burst for Wallace and a 1st and 10.
Yeah, the line for Jupiter opened up a hole on that play, and a big gainer right there, and continuing this drive.
Everybody in tight, just like they were on the snap before. They hand the ball to Wallace again, and again he tries the middle of the field. And takes the ball down close to the 15. Looks like they'll mark him at the 16-yard line, which is going to bring up a 2nd down and 6 after a gain of 4. 10th play of this drive coming. It started at the Jupiter 24-yard line. They're trying to go 76 yards on this drive. It would put them back in the ball game. They still got 2:14 to play in the 3rd quarter. Santaluces got to hurry to try to get a man off, but he makes it. Jupiter goes to the set. 1st and 10. Football fumble, and the ball carrier falls on it back at the 20-yard line. So they lose those 4, and you'll be looking at 3rd and 10. And that's what the direct snap can do when you get down there, and Jupiter's had problems with that all year long. A direct snap, and it didn't look like that bad a snap, Bart. It was, they did try to come up with it down below the knees, but anytime you're doing that on the high school level, that takes great hands to come up with it.
Yeah, it definitely does. You're always worried about a blitz or somebody breaking through that line real quick and hitting you. Jupiter lucky to fall on this one and maintain possession.
Now 3rd and 10, and they're going to try an inside handoff, and not much there. They do take the ball down, it looks like, to about the 17-yard line, a gain of 3, but you're going to be looking at a 4th and 7, and the fumble was really costly. Changes the whole dynamic.
Definitely have a much more manageable down here, about 4th and 3, had it not been for the fumble.
4th and 7, they've got 3 wideouts here on the near side. 2 men in the backfield. They look over, and now the play is changed, and the timeout's taken by Jupiter. 54.3 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and big play here. Might want to talk about it, but I don't know why they called the timeout here. The one thing you could possibly talk about is the fact that you've got a good field goal kicker. Of course, when you're down by 15, you're not taking about 3 points, but they do have a very good kicker in Jez. And I guess the question is, would you think about trying that here and trying to get your score that way?
Well, the interesting part of that is Jupiter has had their troubles driving the football and take a lot of field goals at this point, 5 to even this up. And a touchdown, of course, much greater than a field goal here, but sometimes maybe to get some momentum, they might think about it just to put some points on the board here in the 2nd half. Hope the defense can come out, get a quick stop, and get another offensive drive going. But it does look like the offense does come out onto the field, and they are going to go for this.
It'd be a 34-yard attempt if they were to try to kick the field goal. 4th and 7 from the 17. Garland has it. He wants to pass. He's got a man out there. He throws the fade, and the ball is dropped. He had it in his hands. He had a touchdown. Who was that they threw to? He got turned around. He had the ball all alone. The defender had no idea where the ball was, and they could not hang on. Dropped, and Santaluces dodges a bullet there.
Yeah, they definitely escaped that one there. The Santaluces defender actually ran past the play. The ball a little bit underthrown, or maybe exactly what they were trying to do to get that guy to run past the play. He was right there. The ball was in his hands, but falls to the ground, and on 4th down, that, of course, turns possession over to Santaluces.
Was that Cody? I think that was Cody, and he's as good as you got when it comes to those plays. But he'll sleep. He won't sleep tonight. We weren't thinking about that one. Here's a running play by Santaluces, and the ball went off to Segesi, and not much there for him, a short gain. And they're going to give him, looks like, 1 second down and 9 after the 18.
And we got a injured Santaluces player here.
That might have been. That wasn't. Was that the ball carrier?
Maybe it looks like a cramp.
Yeah, it's easy to get on a warm night like this. Although prior to the game, Bart, the field conditions down on the field, nice breeze. It was almost perfect, but it seems like we've seen this in a number of the games, especially here at Jupiter. But as the evening goes on, the wind stops, the breeze stops, and then the humidity really takes effect.
Yeah, it sets in, and whenever it's humid, that causes a lot of sweat, and you got to make sure you stay hydrated to keep yourself from cramping up. And sometimes that's difficult as the long summer exists, as we're just a few days away from October, but still very warm conditions here in the evenings.
That was Sagesi, the ball carrier, that was shaken up, and now it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 9. Martinez will be in the gun. He's got Langham, a great receiver, out here on the near side and trips on the far. Jupiter showing blitz, and somebody moved into the neutral zone, and a flag is thrown. That's what he tried to do. Boy, Martinez is cagey. He is a cagey quarterback, so now he's going to be faced with a much easier 2nd and 4 after that penalty. Moves the ball out to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, he's been able to draw that Jupiter defense offside a couple times and into the neutral zone and help make some more manageable downs.
That's just smart football. Change that cadence up. That's smart. Use that all day long. Martinez has it, drops back, wants to throw, fires the ball over the middle, and almost picked off by Jupiter.
Jupiter had a couple defenders out there on that one and had an opportunity. Would have been a big play to take possession once again in Santa Luce's territory, but the ball just ends up being knocked down, and that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter now.
And a quarter that saw 7 points scored by Santa Lucis, none put up for Jupiter, and that brings us to an end of 3, 29-14. We'll make a long walk to the south end of the football stadium, Charlie Person Field here in Jupiter, Florida, where Santa Lucis will be looking at a 3rd and 4 from the 23, and this is where this particular ball club has been most impressive to me tonight, Bart. They have been able to pass or run on big 3rd down plays like this right here, and quite frankly, if Jupiter is to have a chance in this ball game, you feel like this is a down they need to stop and make them punt the ball away.
Yeah, it's been difficult for Jupiter to choose run or pass on 3rd downs, especially these 3rd and medium plays, because Santa Lucis has came at them both ways and been successful both ways as well.
Martinez might try to change the cadence and see if he can draw them off and pick up the 1st down by penalty. He's been able to do that a couple of times tonight. Jupiter showing blitz. He's going to get the snap, and then we've got a flag thrown. And what happened? Now, I don't think anybody was in the neutral zone that time. That might go against Santa Lucis, and it does. I was going to say, I didn't see anybody move, so back that up. Now back to the 18-yard line, where it is now 3rd down and 9, and that might change their call after the penalty.
Well, Santa Lucis was already set up in the shotgun formation right there, and looking like they were going to try to pass for the 1st down, and now definitely more of a passing down here on 3rd and long.
Watch for Langham and Williams. They're two very good receivers here. Martinez has it, rolls to his right, wants to pass, stops, now he's going to try to run for it. He gets hit, gets away, still on his feet, and runs out for the 1st down.
Very nice play. Patient, let that play develop in front of him. Stopped his momentum a couple different times to really draw the coverage back to the receivers and give him some room to run. Ends up with a big gain.
17 yards to the 35. But he has that ability. He can stop and start on a dime and be at full speed in one step. And, boy, he's a great-looking athlete. Martinez in the gun now. Working with a new set of downs, 1st and 10 at their own 35. Santa Lucis already leading by 15. And he fumbled the football, but bounced to that back up turn, rolls out to the left, and finally is driven out of bounds. Up around the 40-yard line is Martinez. He tried to hand that off or at least fake it to a running back. Now he's limping as he comes back, but it looked like Bart to me dropped it and the ball dropped bounced right back up into his arms, and he was fortunate there. And it's going to be a 2nd down and 5 at the 40 after a gain of 5.
One of those where the ball just bounced their way, gave them a chance to not only recover it, but recover it for positive yardage.
Martinez from the pistol wants to throw, fires the ball, and gets it out to the receiver Williams, who pulls it in. Or was that Langham? That was actually Langham that made the catch near the sticks. I believe it's going to bring up 3rd and short. It's going to be short by a yard after a 4-yard gain, 3rd and 1. And when I say 1, it looks like from here about the nose of the football, yeah. They've got to move it about from the nose to the first stripe, and they'll have a 1st down. 10:50 and counting left to play in the ball game. 29 for Santa Lucis, 14 for Jupiter. 3rd down and 1 here. 3rd down and inches, actually. He'll come up under center for the first time tonight, and he'll go straight ahead himself, and boy, did he burst through there. And then pumping the football. Jupiter might be on top of it. They think they've got it. But no, I believe it was recovered by Santa Lucis. So, the football was fumbled, then they back it up from where everybody piled on it. They're going to rule it. The ball carrier, I guess, Bart was down
on
at
that play.
44-yard line. So a 12-yard gain, 1st and 10. Well, Jupiter's had them put it on the ground a couple of times, but they've been unable to get possession of that football.
And so Santa Lucis has a new set of downs here, and they are into Jupiter territory now.
Martinez in the pistol. He's got twin receivers to the near side. Single man on top. Has the snap and gives the ball off to the running back, and he's got room. He's still on his feet, still carrying the football down inside the 30. That's number 22, Junior, the ball carrier, and we've got a Jupiter player shaking up back at the 40, and they're going to mark that football down. Looks to me like the 28-yard line. 16-yard carry, 1st and 10. Fresh set of legs. I really thought that time that it appeared to me that Junior might have been moving prior to the snap of that football, but I saw no flag, but I sure thought he had a full head of steam when he got to the line of scrimmage on that one. Now, you can be in motion side to side, but you cannot be moving toward the line of scrimmage, and it sure appeared there that he was underway before that ball was snapped to Martinez.
That ended up being a big play for them, that's for sure. And another 1st down, and clock still moving, under 9.5 to play.
Some confusion. They finally get everybody where they want them. Twin receivers each side. Now they step up right on the line of scrimmage from the pistol. Martinez draws Jupiter up, but that looked like we had an end rise up for Santa Lucis, and that is going to be the call. So they had a false start. It'll be 1st and 15. Move the ball back to the 33-yard line. Well, Santa Lucis has been able to put together some long ensuing drives here tonight. It's been most impressive. Their offense has been really fun to watch for everybody but the Jupiter defense. From the pistol again, Martinez in the gun.
They've spent a lot of time with the football, too, especially this second half.
Eberhard on the left shoulder, and he will get the hand, the fake, and they're going to throw the ball down the right sideline, and the receiver runs out of room. Well defended, and the ball thrown out of bounds. I think they were going for Williams. I'm surprised he didn't catch that, Bart, the way he can go out there and get him. He is quite an impressive young man.
He's made some very nice catches tonight in this ball game, a couple big plays, and the one very acrobatic catch that put them in perfect position for a touchdown.
Which he got on the next pass. Flipped to him from 5 yards out. This time trips on the near side, single man on the far, now naked backfield as they go twins on the top. Martinez is in the gun. Naked backfield. He will get some pressure, fires it over the middle. They set up a wide receiver screen, and the ball caught by Langham, and Langham takes it down inside the 10-yard line, I believe. That was a great call there. A wide receiver screen. You don't see that in high school a lot, and it worked very well there.
They've had a couple of those plays where the quarterback has just jumped up and kind of thrown the ball to the middle of the field, and they've had a receiver come in there, either on the bubble or on the wide receiver screen like that play. And they've gone for some decent yardage both times, and now Santa Lucia set up with first and not quite goal, it looks like.
Okay, 1st and 10, and they hand the ball off to Junior, I believe, number 22, the ball carrier, Bateau Jr., and he leaped over a couple of linemen, gained some plus yardage out of it. This is going to be the 11th play of the drive, and they're actually going to spot him just inside the 10. So we'll call it a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9 from the 10. From the gun, Martinez wants to pass, looks right, rolls to his left, fires the ball, and he's got a man open and a catch again by number 13, Karazi Williams, who pulls it in for the touchdown as he was open, and that ball was rifled right on the numbers, and it is a 10-yard touchdown pass.
And with that touchdown, the score is now 35-14. Santa Lucia setting up. It looks like they're gonna run that same type of play again. They are gonna go for 2, but a flag, as I believe number 7 was actually walking toward
the line of scrimmage
on that one.
You might. I don't know if you have a chance to decline that or not, but if you do, Jupiter will, because they stopped that play for no gain on it. But, boy, this has been a funny game, Bart. It seems like, it feels pretty one-sided now, but for 3/4 of the game, it felt like it was up for grabs. Jupiter very much in the game. In fact, you and I talked about it. Felt like they could have been ahead 21-8, at least 21-16 at the half. That wasn't the case. And the way it looks right now, unless they score here sometime in the last 7:42 of the game, they're not going to get 21 points in the game.
Yeah, it really hasn't. Really, up until that touchdown right there, it didn't feel like Jupiter was out of this ball game. Now with just 7:42 to play, definitely going to be difficult to come back in this, especially with how the Santa Lucia's defense has performed against this offense tonight, and looking pretty bleak right now for Jupiter here on homecoming.
3-touchdown lead for Santa Lucia. Casco's kick will bounce and be taken at the 15-yard line by Jupiter. Now out to the 30, up to the 35, 40, 45, and run out of bounds right there on the 45-yard line. This particular ball game has probably set a record for me, Bart, in seeing the ball spotted at the 40 or 45 or 30 or 35 more than anything. A lot of times we look out, we think, where's it at? But this ball has been placed right on that 5-yard marker more than any game I can recall in a long time.
Yeah, it really has. It's been dead on. Not a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4s, a lot of 0s and 5s whenever this ball's been spotted.
1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line for the Jupiter Warriors. Looks like twin receivers each way. Garland is in the shotgun, but he's also down as if he might run the ball. It is snapped to Wallace, and he's going to try the left side, and he gets the ball up close to midfield. Thought we might see him try to isolate Cody Wilson here. I mean, you're down 3 touchdowns. You've got less than 7.5 minutes to go. Kind of feel like, oh boy, didn't get a very good spot on that one. Going to mark it at the 48, gave him a gain of 3, called it 2nd and 7. I thought he was just shy of the midfield stripe, Bart.
Yeah, that looked like they did spot him down a little bit shorter than what it appeared he had, and Jupiter going to need to hurry up a little bit here as the clock continues to run.
And again, they will go with the direct snap. So going to try to run the ball. Davis has it, tries to get to the corner, finally does over on the left sideline and gets hit and driven out of bounds, and he's going to be close to a 1st down. Very hard to tell when they get on that sideline exactly where the ball is, but looks like they're going to give him a gain of 5, and it's going to be a 3rd and 2. Mark the ball. That was Davis, the ball carrier, at the 48-yard line of Santa Lucia. 6:40 to play. Jupiter needs 2 yards for a 1st down. And now a flag thrown. What happened there? It appeared that a Santa Alusis helmet might have been in the neutral zone, and that was the case. That's the only thing that I could spot there. And that penalty will give Jupiter the first down.
Yeah, that's some free yardage with no time leaving the clock for Jupiter, and they need some more of that to help them get back into this game.
Football at the 43. Here is the Garland back to throw. He's got a man out there. The ball is batted away. Pretty well defended. They tried to go to number 11 was the intended receiver for Jupiter, and that's Devin Bowie, and Devin couldn't come up with it, incomplete.
It looked like they had a receiver break quickly through the line just on the left side of the left end there, and it looked like he had a couple steps on the Santa Lucis defender, but it looked like Garland was looking to the right side of the field the whole time and didn't spot him, to where if he could have thrown the ball up and led him a little bit, he would have had a pretty wide open opportunity to catch that for a Jupiter score. But this is an incomplete pass, and Jupiter will have to try it again.
Make sure you're on the winning team when it comes to your financial future. Contact Richard Lepore at Signature Financial Solutions at 1375 Gateway Boulevard in Boynton Beach, and set your course for financial security. Phone 561-596-2743. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Cobalt Computer Consultants, located in the shops of Jupiter at 201 North U.S. Highway 1 in Jupiter. For computer training, lessons, and repairs, phone 561-623-0533. Member Apple Consultants Network. We're looking now at a 2nd down and 10 from the 43. And Garland back to pass, pump fakes, fires it out here, going for Wilson, beats his man, has a touchdown, Jupiter! They hook up again, this time from 43 yards out for the touchdown.
Well, they needed that one and need a couple more now, but that's a good start. You got to just get them one at a time. Another big play to their go-to guy on big plays, Cody Wilson from Garland, and that's a Jupiter touchdown.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cody Wilson, did you see the separation that he caused while that ball was in the air? That tells me that that young man has an opportunity, as I do believe Griffin Garland has as well, to be playing on Saturdays next year. Those two guys can do it.
He definitely has some separation speed, some breakaway speed in the open field, and turned that one into an easy play.
Boy, what a beautifully thrown pass, too, from Garland. Jay is on to try the extra point, and jumping off sides is Santa Lucis. And I think what will probably happen here is Jupiter will just decline this and go ahead and kick. And that is exactly what they're going to do. Well, we said they needed 3 touchdowns. There's one of them, Bart, but boy, is there enough time to get 2 more and get that ball away from Santa Lucis.
Well, you can't give up any more scores, that's for sure.
Snap is good, and the kick is good, and that makes the score now 35-21 in favor of the Santa Lucis Chiefs. Although they haven't added that point on the board yet. 6:19 left to play. We're still talking whether they're going to add the point on the board. There it goes up, finally. Okay. Well, this has been something, too, that's kind of been a bit of an enigma tonight, is how to kick off the football. And I think right here, what I tell my kicker is watch and see. If they drop back deep, then kick it short. If they come up, kick it long. It's simple.
You're going to have to be careful with how you set the ball on the tee. That's kind of been the way Santa Lucis has read it. Whenever they set the ball more horizontal on that tee, Santa Lucis, right before they run up, comes up on the play to shorten it up, and that's been kind of the telltale sign. So if they can be a little more deceptive in it, maybe give themselves an option to where he can look upfield as he starts his approach to the football, that'll benefit them a little bit, because they do need right here to pin them back fairly deep, hopefully inside the 30 at least or so, which would be some of the worst field positions. They just run up on this ball. They touch it, though, before it goes 10 yards, it looks like, and I think think they're going to penalize this.
I think what they'll do is just let Santaluces take the ball right there.
Yeah.
But it didn't go. It didn't go 10 yards when you're setting it down at the 48.
Yeah, that's for sure. They ran right out of the huddle. Is the way they worked that. They were in the huddle, ran up, and just tried to kick it and make it go the 10 yards and fall on it, but it never made it far enough. And Santaluces will have great field position here with Jupiter needing a stop desperately.
Bart, I don't fault them for trying the onside kick there. It just didn't go long enough. Okay. Luis Martinez, who has been very impressive at the quarterback position tonight, is in the gun. He will hand it off, and then whistles blow, and I believe we had a false start on Santaluces there. And that will be the call back at up to the 43-yard line, where it's now first down and 15. Still 6:14 to play in the ball game.
If Jupiter can get a quick stop here or a turnover or something and a quick score,
it could get interesting, yeah.
That will make it much more of a ball game.
Williams is on top. They've got two running backs in the pistol. Twin receivers on the near side. He wants to throw. He's going to throw it to Langham, and he makes the catch, and look out. He just about broke that for a long run, but he gets the first down. Boy, they do have talented receivers. I'm really impressed with the wideouts that Santaluces has. Both of them, Williams and Langham, they're the real deal.
Well, he caught that ball heading toward the sideline, but then reverse direction, and that takes some courage to not think you're going to get hit right there, and it helped him pick up a bunch of yards after the catch.
He picked up 21, and here comes the ball. The quarterback, he's got a man wide open, has a catch at the 5, he's in. The only question is, was he past the line of scrimmage?
I don't see a flag on the play.
Well, the man on the sideline, the official, vacated his position, and I thought sure he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. But they say no, and they're going to give them the 36-yard touchdown pass. And that score went to Williams again, was it not? 13?
13, yeah, I believe so.
And it comes with 5:58 to play in the fourth. Boy, I sure thought that he was past the line of scrimmage. If not, he was real close on that play. Kick is up, and the kick is good, and that makes the score now 42 to 21 in favor of Santaluces. Well, that's one that we'll check the screen. We'll watch the replay on, Bart, and see if he was over the line of scrimmage. In my mind, I felt like the last little move that he made put him a yard or two in front of the sticks, but the side official vacated his position, and therefore he couldn't have called it, so you're not going to get a flag on it, even if he was over.
Yeah, that's kind of the dagger there, I believe. We're under 6 minutes now, and instead of a 2-score game, it's a 3-score game once again after Jupiter had fought to get that last touchdown, giving it right back right there, and making it really difficult for them to have a chance to pull this game out.
Well, Coach Usolini's got to be happy with this Jupiter squad and the fact that there's never any quitting these guys. But, boy, this has been an interesting game, but we've seen Santaluces really warm up the offense. Here's the kick coming down the middle of the field. It'll bounce. It'll be taken. That might be Davis that picks it up at the 15. It is Davis. He's got a little bit of a seam, and he gets a nice return as he takes the ball out to the 43-yard line.
That definitely needed a good return right there. Now going to have to try and send this football down the field and get it in the end zone here as quickly as possible, and then probably have to kick an onside kick if they can get the touchdown and hopefully recover that, and then need another quick score and then have to get the ball back once again to have a chance. So we'll see what Jupiter can do here on this drive and see if they can march down the field, score a touchdown here very quickly.
Cody Wilson's going to be in the slot on the far side of the football field. Everybody down in the set position, so this will probably be a running play. And they get the ball to Davis. He takes it to the left side. He's going to have a first down as he takes the ball all the way down to the 45-yard line of Santaluces.
Nice play there for Davis, who has came back this week and had a pretty nice game once again, his second one in a row that we've seen. And Jupiter moving the ball on their first play into Santaluces territory.
So, Jupiter looking at a 1st and 10 at the Chief 45-yard line. Actually, it looks like they marked that inside there. We'll call it the 43. And the snap to Davis. He's going to try the right side this time. Cuts up inside a block. Gets hit. Will go down around the 40-yard line. So he'll pick up about 3, and it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 7. Good job that time by Santaluces to keep him in bounds. The clock continues to run. Down now to 5:24. 42-21. Santaluces has doubled the score on the Warriors, who are trying to get another score. Got to kind of wonder when they're going to look for number 3, because Cody Wilson's been able to get himself free against the Santaluces secondary almost at will tonight.
He has been their big play guy all season, and we'll see if they go to him here.
This time they give the ball off to Davis. He tries to run off left tackle, and not much there. Boy, that's taken a lot of time. You can run those kind of plays, but Santaluces is saying, yeah, run it to the middle of the field. We'll tackle, and we'll make you use clock. This is playing right into their hands. That was a gain of about 2, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 5 with the football now at the 38-yard line. So some work left for Jupiter. And again, taking a long time here to call the play. The clock just continues to tick down here. And they snap it to Davis on a direct snap, and he's going to lose yardage. He did surge forward to about the 38. It looks like no gain, 4th and 5. Interesting calls here, Bart. Not even trying to throw the ball in the air and using up all the time. It's
beyond just not putting the ball in the air, not trying to run the ball to the outside, too. I mean, that's where they've had most of their success for their bigger gains. And even on this drive, whenever Davis ran the ball to the outside, he got that big play there early in this drive. But that was the only time they've gone out there.
Here's a 4th and 5, and Davis fumbles the football, and I think Santaluces fell on it. He got hit. He was trying to get the extra yardage. It looked like he had the first down, but he fumbles. Santaluces takes over, and that, for all intents and purposes, will be your ball game. What happened there looked to me like he got turned sideways, and he was really carrying it like a loaf of bread, and the hit from the helmet was right on the football. Jarred it loose, and Santaluces will take over and probably be content to run out the clock with just 3:42 left to play.
Yeah, he got the first down, got the yardage he needed, but then the football was poked out, and now Santaluces a couple first downs away from being able to run.
Somebody was confused. Santaluces thought they had the ball up at about the 35. Instead, they're going to mark the ball at the 27. That's where they'll put it in play. From the pistol, Martinez might be content just to run the football here. Hands it off to the back of the backfield, and a nice run, and then a late flag throw. That ball went to number 24, and I believe that's the first carry we've seen tonight from Marcos Paulino, the junior running back, and I think that one's going to come back.
Going to start putting some guys in to get some experience here, I'd say, and make sure they don't get anybody hurt. But, yeah, that looked like a hold, I believe.
Looks like it took place, the hold, actually, at about the 34-yard line, so any mark-off is going to come from there.
That was the indication from the referee there, the official.
Yeah, now Santaluces comes out ready to go before. Oh, it was offsetting penalties. Now we had a blow to the helmet call. I'm confused. That's what he showed against Jupiter. Now walks back, picks up the flag. Where are they going to mark the ball? They've got the ball sitting at the 27.
Looks like they kept it 1st and 10 at the 27.
So we're going to do it all over again. It didn't happen.
Redo, only a little bit less time on the clock.
Luis Martinez, who's been very impressive at the quarterback position tonight, in the gun. Gets the snap. Wants to hand the ball off and keeps it instead himself, and he gets whacked back there. Got hit hard by a pair of Jupiter defenders, one of them Griffin Garland, and he might still be down on the carpet, Bart. He got whacked. He
definitely took a hit on that one. He's feeling it right now, laying down on the field. Trainer coming out.
Trying to figure out exactly where they're going to spot the football. Now you got to wonder there about having your starting quarterback in a ball game that's pretty well decided. But he faked that handoff to a fresh running back in there. I believe that was Paulino he faked it to again, or else that time maybe Extantis, Brandon Exantis, number 30, and instead he elected to keep that football himself, and he got pinched, and I mean he got hit hard. Looked like he took a helmet on both sides of his mid-body as two Jupiter defenders converged on him, and he's still not gotten up, and now he will get to his feet. Bart said that he'd been injured last week, but he's going to limp off the field. He's probably done for the night, but boy, he's an impressive looking quarterback, and now the football is sitting inside the 25-yard line at the 24.
Actually, it looked like that was number 8.
Did it?
Mike Moyes. So I think that might have been a receiver.
Okay. So Martinez, I guess, is still in the game. It was not him. Well, he gets a snap, and it's a high one, and he grabs
going to whistle it dead.
And we've got a infraction, and that'll back him up 5 more. For Santaluces, these are the kind of penalties you can afford with a 21-point lead.
Especially in the fourth quarter with under 3 minutes to play. If you're going to make your mistakes, this is the time to make them. And they seem to have maybe a few of their second-string guys in, but their quarterback is still the guy taking the snaps. 2nd
and 20. And he takes it under center, pitches it back in a short gain. And they just want to use up as much time as they can right now, and that's smart football. A 3-touchdown lead for Santaluces.
Playing the clock now, just trying to keep it in bounds, keep the clock running as much as they can. If they can pick up first downs, great. If not, doesn't hurt them extremely right now to punt the football away and let Jupiter eat up some clock of their own.
Santaluces looking at a 3rd and 19 from their own 20-yard line. Martinez from the gun has it, hands it off to the running back, tries to swing wide, and then gets hit and stood up at about the 25, falls forward maybe to the 26, 27, and it'll bring up 4th down and about 12 for Santaluces. The clock now down to 150, and they'll send the punting unit on, and number 14 has been impressive kicking the football tonight. Alvaro Casco, he was a weapon in the first half in particular, Bart, when he made Jupiter start at their own 20 every time.
Yeah, he was kicking the ball through the end zone like it was nothing, pretty much. And definitely...
Almost blocked by Jupiter. Might have got a hand on it. Fair catch called for, and then bouncing away. And it takes a Santaluces bounce.
There's a flag for running into the kicker back there.
Well, that's a automatic first down, isn't it? I think that's automatic. So Santaluces will hang on to the football. I'm not sure that was a good call. I was about to say I thought that the ball was kicked by the defender, and if it is, if he touches it at all, then it is not roughing the kicker.
He just motioned as though that was a penalty on...
Maybe after the play, ball sitting at the 25-yard line, and it looks like Jupiter is going to have the ball, I think. Yeah, well, maybe not. I'm confused.
Yeah, Jupiter's going to have the ball. It doesn't look, it almost looks like, I don't know, where did he bring that up to the 30 to where that was just a 5-yard minor infraction on that?
I guess. Jupiter will have the ball. They've got 1:16 to play, trailing by 3 touchdowns. Looks like they're going to send... Well, I thought they were going to send wide receivers out. Now they're going to go back to the single wing operation. Put a man in motion, hand the ball off to the up back. He gets it, gets banged, gets hit, gets the ball up to the 32, picks up 7, 2nd and 3.
So Jupiter continuing to run the ball up the middle here. Looks like they're just going to try to get some positive yardage to finish this game, and they're accepting their fate as going down in defeat tonight to Santaluces.
This will drop them to 2 and 3 on the year. Still using an eternity as far as time and getting their plays run, even though probably not going to catch them here. They try to bounce to the outside. Running back does, moves the ball up, and then fumbles the ball, and Santaluces falls on it again. So they had the first down picked up. They fumbled the ball, and Santaluces will have it with 26 seconds to play. They'll probably take a knee, and that will be that.
One knee, and this game will be over.
That ball came out, looked like a golf shot. It was rolling down the carpet. I thought it might get all the way to the end zone.
Went a good 15 yards or so before anybody was able to land on it, pick it up, and secure the football. But when they do, Santaluces has it, and that will be all she wrote after they get into this formation, run one more play, and that'll be the ball game.
They go to the victory formation. Take the snap. Martinez down with the knee, and that will do it. As the official says, run the clock. No, we're not going to stop it. And this one is in the books, and Santaluces has defeated Jupiter here at Charlie Person Field in Jupiter by a final score of 42-21. Santaluces got a gift in the first quarter that kind of propelled them in this ball game after Jupiter had cut the margin to 8-7 and was on the march. Looked like they had actually taken the kick return all the way down to the 10-yard line, but a couple of penalties backed them up, and then they did a direct snap play. The ball was fumbled. It was picked up by Santaluces at the 43-yard line. They run it in for the score, and they were ahead 16-7, and they really never looked back after that. Jupiter did manage to make it an 8-point ball game at halftime when it was 22-14, but Santaluces extended the lead to 29-14 at the end of the third quarter, and they outscored Jupiter 13-7 in the fourth quarter to win this ball game 42-21. And Santaluces now on the year, I believe, is 3-1. Is that their record? And Jupiter falls to 2-3. Yeah, they're 3-1.
3-2.
No, they played one less game. They must have had a bye in there. So Santaluces goes to 3-1. A nice year for them, and Jupiter continues the battle. They can continue to compete here on homecoming night, but too many mistakes and too many turnovers to win against a very impressive offensive display by Santaluces here tonight as the Chiefs come away with the victory by the final score of 42-21. And again, we'd like to congratulate Kirk Dunteman, who was the king at homecoming here tonight for Jupiter High School, and Brianna Falgiano, who was your homecoming queen. That's going to wrap it up. We'll have the action next Friday night when Jupiter will travel to Wellington to play the Wolverines, and we'll have all the action on that one. Bart will be with me, and we look forward to it. Bart, it should be a good one, and we take to the road for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, some road games coming up here, and hopefully Jupiter can right the ship after losing the last 2 games in a row, get a couple wins, and still turn this into a pretty nice season, which I believe they can have.
Okay, 42-21, the final. Santaluces defeats Jupiter. For Bart Weibel, I'm Brent Weibel saying so long, till next time.